There it is! Oh, okay. No. Ah!
We at CoCoTALK would like to thank the patrons who sponsor our show. So thanks go to Al Hartman, Alan Huffman, Alan Murphy, Blair Ledoux, Brendan Donaghy, Brian Joyce, Brian Weasler, Christina Armstrong, D. Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Disney Saints fan, Eric Canales, Fedor Stamen, Grant Leedy, Jason Bucata, Jason Downs, Jenna Farron, Ken Reichert, Kyle Etter, Malfunct, Michael Pitsley, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, Richard Lorbieski, Rob Inman, Stephen Wagner, Steve Bjork, Terry Steen, Terry Steggy, The Backyard Shed Gang, Tom C., Tom S., and Tim Lindner. Thank you ever so much, patrons. CoCoTALK is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of the CoCoTALK show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS 80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. It's time to drop your socks, grab your real-time clocks, and let's rock.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to everyone's favorite talk show, CoCoTALK. We have a very special occasion this week, episode 162. We're going to call Space Talk because we're going to be blowing stuff up in the air because America.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have solved the world's biggest conundrum because today two important things were going to happen and you had to make the Sophie's choice. What do I get to do? What do I have to miss? We have the SpaceX launch and we have CoCoTALK. How can we choose between one or the other? The good news is you don't have to, and you're welcome. We will be providing live coverage of the SpaceX launch during this very program as it happens because the world needs CoCo, the world needs space. You all know that. We've got a great panel. We've got a great show in store for you. Before we get into the panel, I think there's something I'd like to just bring up briefly. Now, I'm not sure how many people are aware if you've been watching the news lately or not, but apparently, and I did check Snopes, so this is not fake news, but apparently we're in the middle of this thing that the kids these days call a pandemic. Not sure if you heard about this or not, but it is happening and it's been affecting apparently some people's lives. And so I thought that even though we're mostly retro focused, that we should have some social responsibility too, to address something particularly related to this pandemic. So let's go ahead and run that clip right now, if I can find it. Where is it? Okay, here it goes. In these difficult, trying, and uncertain times, the world has changed. The way we work, travel, and interact has gone digital. Tandy and Radio Shack have been using safe social practices and empowering people with technology to work remotely for over 4 decades. CoCoTALK has been meeting online with Skype, Discord, and Zoom to safely connect people for years. When you want safety, technology, and social collaboration, turn to Tandy, Radio Shack, and CoCoTALK, innovating by example. And there you have it.
Cool.
Crickets.
Helps when
I
you're
would
not
say it's
soundboard when
something
you
we
need
could
it.
hear over and over again.
That's right. All right. That's
I'm
it.
happy to see Fletcher got work again. That's awesome.
And that's what I spent the past 9 hours this morning working on, and it just flatlined. And that's
No, it was
that's
funny.
okay.
That was good.
And that's
We
okay.
were all soaking it in.
Well, all right, so we got a great panel for you today. Let's go around the room and let's see who's here. We have got a man whose name is so nice, we must say it thrice. It's Nick Marotta. Nick Marotta. Welcome, Nick.
Hello.
Hello,
Good to see you guys.
We have our backup engineer. I believe he is somewhere live right now in Houston. Mark Bosley is here. Hey, Mark.
Hello.
You've seen him on the bridge of the Enterprise, but he's currently in Arizona. Ron Delvaux is here.
Hello, hello.
Speaking of outer space, we've got L. Curtis Boyle with us.
Good day.
I'm not sure how that correlated, but that's okay. He knows the way to San Jose, and he knows a thing or two about Pi Drive Wire. It's Mikey. Hello, Mikey.
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. We have a very special guest with us today. Mr. Tim Lindner is here. Hello, Tim.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for being here. We have the Coco Man himself from CocoMan.biz. It's Jason Reichard. Hey, Jason.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. Paulie Walnuts Fiscarelli is in the house. Hey, Paulie, how are you?
Yo, how you doing? It's good to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
All right. We got the backup singer to ZZ Top, Rick Euland's here with the beard.
Howdy, all.
I'm sorry, I should have said ZZ Top. All the way from, is it Denmark? Where are you, Simon? Simon Jonasson is here. Are you in Denmark, Simon?
Yeah, it was last time I looked.
Okay, I can't keep up with you. You're all over the place. All right. So, and the panel's moving around. Alan Murphy is here. Welcome, Alan.
Groovy greetings, everyone.
I believe he's on the road somewhere, probably going to get some apple crap. Mark D. Overholzer is here. Hey, Mark.
Hey there, just on vacation in Eastern Washington State.
Eastern Washington State. Excellent, excellent. Mr. Dave 6809 is here from O Canada. Hey, Dave, how's it going, eh?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the program. The Thunder from Down Under, Nicholas Marentes is here. G'day, Nick.
G'day, everyone.
We have the Slayer, Paul Thayer, author of this week's Game of the Week. Timberman is here. Hey, Paulie.
Hey, hey, hey.
And then I do have a question from David Ladd. David, are you excited to be here today?
Oh, hell yeah, everyone. I'm ready to see how this train wreck goes down the rails today. I've got home at 4 a.m. from a LAN party, retro style, overnight. So I'm tired, I'm pumped, and I'm full of caffeine. Let's get this show on the road.
All right.
Well, something anyway.
I'm drinking a David Ladd right now.
Yes. I'm glad I asked.
I'm usually subdued David Ladd.
I'm not sure if I'm glad I asked or if I'm sorry I asked. In the live chat, we have Ken Reichard, we have Chris West, Tim Franklin, Nimble is out there, and Kevin Holloway, Nick Marotta. We have James Jones in the live chat, David Ladd, Curtis Boyle, Mark B., Tim Franklin. I believe I've said hi to the live chat. Hello, everybody. So the clock is ticking. We do need to get into the Game On segment. I think there's one more clip that we do want to run before we get into the Game On segment, and that would be everyone's favorite segment of the show this week, if I could find it. I have got way too much stuff here to look at, and even though I have tried to organize it.
Are Restreambot and Timberbot related?
They could be. They could. Here we go. Here's time for everyone's favorite segment of the show.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Who's New to Discord This Week? Well, this week we send out a welcome to MacGyver DB, David Brenneman, West Video, Chris West, Saburo from Japan, and Timberbot. And a special thanks go to David Ladd, Rob Inman, Alpin Grace, Paul Fiscarelli, Terry Steggy, and our patrons for boosting the server. Join us on Discord by going to discord.cocotalk.live.
All right. Hello and welcome to Discord. Hello, hello. All right. So we are going to jump right into the Game On segment of the show and the Game On results and all that good stuff. Nick Marotta, are you ready for me to press these buttons?
I am ready.
Okay. And here we go.
And now, CoCo Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. Sometimes the CoCo is I never wanted to be a thinker at all. I wanted to be a Timberman. The colorful graphics, the unlockable characters. Ron Delvo. I'm the Timberman and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I chop all day.
He's the Timberman and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he chops all day.
I chop at trees from side to side. I cannot tell a lie. If one little tiny branch touches me, I fall right down and die.
He's the Timberman and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he chops all day.
Oh man!
Wow! Wow!
Oh,
beautiful.
That was awesome.
That's obviously the best one ever.
Obviously the best one ever. And this is a professional show. The production quality has always been stellar. That was amazing from Samuel Gimes. So I just wanted to get everybody's reaction there real quick. I did not see that.
Thank you, Samuel Gimes.
Samuel Gimes, thank you. You are too kind. And here we go.
High Score Challenge with
Nick Marotta.
All right, guys, welcome to the High Score Challenge game results. We had a really great week this week. We actually had over 20 participants, which I think is really, really good. So let's get to the list of scores here. And here we go. So 23 participants. R.L.M. Murphy with 1 point. Rogelia with 35. Terry Stagey, 206. Jay Searle, 208. Mr. Dave, 237. Joshua, 271. Damon Beals, 277. Ben Drake, 303. Just Mike, 304. David Ladd, 326. Butterball, 327. Diego, 350. Alpin Grace, 352. Tom C, 357. Cat Lord, 361. Rob Inman, 361. Buck Owens, 363. David Croker, 366. Paul Shoemaker, 368. Paul Fiscarelli, 376. OG Stevie Stroh, 378. Redbeard, Paulie T, 379.
Yeah.
And book your ski trips to hell, everybody, because number one was me, 392.
Nice. Way to go, Nick.
Yeah, that's a surprise, I have to say. Thank you, and thank you for Paul Thayer, who's actually here, for creating such a fantastic game. Paul, I didn't talk to you about this ahead of time, but I don't know if you want to talk a little bit as to developing the game and any memories you have of it or any.
God. No.
Great interview. Thank you.
I mean,
right.
I had a good time. I learned a significant bit. It was the first time doing any kind of assembly programming. And I'm just glad everybody had a really good time with it this week.
We did. Go ahead.
So thank you very much.
We should also point out that Simon Jonason, who's here too, also helped Tim with this project. So thank you, Simon, for being an outstanding community member and sharing your madness with the world.
A mentor.
Yes.
Anyone. I would have played, but my hatchet was out being ground.
So yeah, like I said, this is one of our more popular weeks. So obviously it was very well received. And so you were figuring the maximum possible score would probably be what, about 415 or so, you were saying?
That's
Before
what
it
I
just gets to
somewhere in the 14s, yeah, because I don't remember the exact number, but after play testing, yeah, it was somewhere around 410, 412, 415, something
it gets
like that.
nuts. It's amazing though. A lot of the scores were clustered around between 300 and 400. So
Yep.
everybody was doing really well on this game, I thought. 'Cause it gets crazy.
Yeah, after about 370, it starts to get really cranking. So
Yeah, you can't stop at all. So, well, what kind of controllers did you guys find worked best? I was using a digital Sega gamepad.
Not
I like
mine.
that.
not mine.
Yeah, the score of 1 came from when the controller flipped to the wrong side right under the branch, and I literally died the instant the game started. It's like, okay, I think I need a little tuning here. I got to 206 total, overall, but that one was just like, it just figures with my last name. I think I'll send this in.
Exactly. Wanted to immortalize that. So,
this is probably contrary to popular belief, but or popular opinion, but my favorite to use is the deluxe.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I don't like the button on the deluxe. I find it to be just too awkward to rapid mash. And,
Long throw.
And I ended up using a Sega gamepad, generic Sega gamepad with the digital adapter on my CoCo 3. And I loved that. That button was so mushable. I could rapidly mush the button, and I could just thumb pad left and right and quickly whip back and forth with a single tap and mash the hell out of that button. It worked out really good for me.
So you had said last week, Paul, that there was this secret unlockable. I assume we did get that, right? Was that you with the guitar?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not listed as one of the unlockable characters, but if you get 375 or higher, I will appear.
And I'm not a big fan of smashing guitars, but it was pretty cool. So
nothing happens to the guitar.
Oh, it's amazing. I know.
Yeah. And for those not aware, guitar is known as an axe, man.
It is. When you're cool like Stevie and you know the lingo. That's right.
So if you get 415, do you get a double neck or what?
Yeah. Why don't you try? Somebody try and find out. That's what happens.
The answer is no. You publish the source code.
Now, if you can actually manage to get a 0 score, you unlock the ukulele.
Steve, I'm thinking something I can't really say right now, but
yeah, I am too, Nick. It should be a negative score to get the ukulele.
Okay, these are my friends. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you very much for this game, Paul. I'm really glad to see that people responded well to it, and you had a few people pick up a copy this week, eh?
Yeah.
So that's really good. I like to show what's out there in the community with continuing software and hardware development, and if we can support the developers and keep things going, it's really fantastic. So does anybody else have anything to talk about with
well, Paul, do you want to mention the fact that what was the inspiration for making this game? Like where you got what was. Without me saying it, I was going to give you the chance to say it. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I got the inspiration from the phone app of the same name, and the fact that it was the graphics are very similar to what you could produce on the Color Computer 3, and I'm like, well, that looks like that might be easy to pull off. So
yeah, it translated really well.
But you learned better, right?
What?
But you learned better. It really wasn't easy to pull off. You still did it, but
yeah, it wasn't quite that easy. No.
Have you thought about different games that you can come up with the same, similar fashion working thing? No.
Like, are you interested in porting any other mobile games over? I guess would be a question.
There's been a few. Yeah, I mean, before I wrote this one, I wrote Locked in Basic, and that was close to that was a phone app that I found.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I didn't do that one in assembly or anything like that. So.
Now, we're getting a little bit of background noise from somebody, so I'd ask people to kind of self-mute when you're not speaking. And I mentioned this when we were talking about this in chat on Discord. This is not the first time a mobile game was ported to the CoCo, and the first one I recall, actually, well, there was also Flaggin' Bird that Steve Bamford, aka Bosco, did. So Steve Bamford ported a game called Flappy Bird, where you just kind of move up and down as you're scrolling across the screen. So that was ported to the Dragon Color computer, and I believe it was even ported to the MC10.
Yes.
And by the way, I would like to say, for the record, for years now, I've been saying that the MC10 is incredible. It's a fantastic machine. It's wonderful. Amazing people developed for it. Jim Gary, incredible guy, making amazing software. So Flaggin' Bird was a retro app ported to the CoCo family. And then Lee Patterson did Bouncy Ball, which was based on a iPhone game that looked retro-ish that he ported to the CoCo. And then he ported the CoCo version back to the iOS in a game called Bouncy Ball NG for Next Generation. And by the way, Simon Jonason also helped Lee Patterson with that. So surprise, surprise, when people are making projects, Simon's usually helping out there. So this is the third.
What about the Dino one?
Dino War. Yeah. Well, that was retro when retro was original. Oh, Run Dino Run too. Yes, ported from.
Yeah, it's based on a Google game, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the web browser,
right.
actually.
So there's been a number of now things ported to the CoCo that were inspired by mobile stuff, and so it's almost like a tradition now. So it's kind of cool to see that.
I think that's why his nickname is the Invisible Man.
It's behind the scenes.
He's always behind something.
No, fun game, absolutely fun game. Very well polished, very professional looking. The first game I've seen for the CoCo with unlockable characters, which is it's a common theme now in modern games, but it's the first retro system based game that has that unlockable characters. And it was in this run that we did that I got the last 3 unlockable characters. As a matter of fact, Simon Jonason is one of the unlockable characters, the Madman. He's using a CoCo to chop the tree. Paul Thayer was an Easter egg, but I unlocked Paul, the Easter egg, and I unlocked the other 2 guys that required you to get strings of 200 or 300 chops 3 times in a row. So it was...
Those are tough.
Yeah, Scuba Steve, and who was the other one? Homer Simpson looking dude, right? So I unlocked those guys this week playing the game. So it's kind of cool that even though I've had this game for like 2 years, I got inspired to play it, and I got more stuff out of it these past couple days too. So it was a good time this week.
And of course you did the Christmas edition one too, where you kind of changed things up a little bit as well.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah, I like the Christmas edition with the snow, and yeah, it's really cool. So people played that one, and they're identical, and yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I was actually trying to fit that into as an expansion to the actual main game, but the way I coded the cycle for like when you're in the character selection screen, for some reason I couldn't get any more in there, and I wasn't gonna mess with it too hard, so I just kind of wrote a demo, and I'm like, you know what, I can actually give this away for everybody. So
nice of you. Yes. Okay, so should we so aside from the human players we had playing, we had somebody take it upon themselves to challenge themselves to create an automated player, and that player was known as Timberbot. And here to talk about that is Tim Lidner.
Oh, I didn't make Timberbot. But yeah, I did make a robot playing Timberman. And
I thought you called it the real Timberbot. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, yes.
I got confused with the names. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it is the real Timberbot because I think it has the high score of 410.
Tim Lidnerbot.
Timbobot.
Timbobot. So yeah, go talk about so show us what you've done.
So I should be sharing my screen.
You are.
I have my YouTube video up showing the 410 I got. Very proud of that. I used MAME. MAME has a scripting engine called Lua, and it was rather quite easy. Line number 10 here, I test to make sure that I'm on the play screen, not the menu screen. This pixel 200,30 is a green color for the main play screen. And then I test for a brown pixel on the left-hand side and either move the joystick all the way to the left or all the way to the right. For button pushing, I found that I couldn't be alternating button pushing on each frame. I had to hold down for 2 frames and let go for 3 frames. And that's when I finally got my, my high score of 410. And this bit of code just runs every frame at the start of the frame and never stops. And that is the long and the short of the robot.
So go back and show the video for those who haven't seen the video. What is it like to get a flawless victory in Timberman here?
I've gotten a higher score than that robot has, just to let you know.
I mean, look how fast this freaking thing is going.
It's so funny to watch.
It's freaking insane. It is absolutely freaking insane. He's already at 300.
Man, I wish I could play like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I work.
Nice.
And I like how he's got the animated finger tapping on the screen. It's like it would be on the mobile. 410 points. 410 points. Absolutely insane. Now, but you were not the first Timberbot, because there was a Timberbot who joined Discord this week.
There is another.
Mysteriously. The original Timberbot, should we say. The real Timberbot. So there was
classic Timberbot.
There was a Timberbot out of nowhere. We got a new member to Discord, this Timberbot character, and then we started seeing screenshots, and these screenshots kept getting better and better and better as the week went on. So I myself am very curious to know who or what this Timberbot is, the original Timberbot. But that's really cool what you did there, Timbo. I really like that. So how do we get to the bottom of this mystery? Where's Scooby and the gang? Are we going to unmask Old Man Jenkins and see who Timberbot is here? What's the deal, Nick Murata?
Yes, I believe we found some secret footage of Timberbot. If you could go ahead and
roll I go ahead and roll that footage? Okay, here we go.
I am Timberbot. I chop things up and put.
Okay, you guys can't hear that, so let me reshare the screen so you guys can hear it. So give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
All I see is your. Oh, there you go.
All right, you guys ready? Okay.
I am Timberbot. I chop things up and put them down. All your timber are belong to us. You can challenge me, but I must break you.
Oh my God! So what was that? 419.
419.
419 was the best score, with the total best score of 991. So I believe shenanigans might be called here.
So the secret Timberman gonna reveal himself.
I'm gonna tell you that the highest score that I've seen is equal 78. The first number didn't even register.
Oh my goodness.
So if you play this bot a second time, you're not going to get a different answer, are you?
No.
It might be
No.
because it's random, right? The way I don't know. I don't know anything about bots, unfortunately. As far as I knew, that was all science fiction type stuff. But apparently, bots are among us, and bots are invading our challenges here.
And they look like they could play in ZZ Top.
So I still don't know the origins of this Timberbot character. Is the truth out there?
So I might be able to reveal a little bit of truth on that one.
Okay. Fess up, mister.
So, yeah, Timberbot was my creation. I had started trolling the high score challenge screenshots earlier in the week before he was disqualified, and justly so.
Disqualification.
So, I didn't realize Tim was working on his, and there was a little bit of banter between Tim and Timberbot earlier in the week, so that was interesting. And then I saw Tim's video last night, and I'm like, I think I can beat that one. So
Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. So a little bit about Timberbot. Yeah, he basically he's playing on a physical CoCo 3, and I'll show you exactly what I've got going on right here. So I'll switch over to the magic behind the scenes, and basically I've got an Arduino set up here, and just a little bit of circuitry on the breadboard here. And basically all it is an Arduino that's controlling the gameplay. And the way that I've got it set up is I've got this cable right here, which is going to a CoCo joystick connector plugged into the back of my CoCo 3. I've got power going to the Arduino, and I basically got have two inputs into the Arduino. One is this green wire, which is an analog input, and that is wired to a couple photoresistors that are wired up in a series differential voltage divider, much like the wiper arm of a CoCo joystick. And this one here is let me grab something I can point with. This white one here is actually the fire or the chop rate. And I just basically have a potentiometer on the board here that I can control the chop rate. The chop rate is this blinking LED right here. And I can go all the way down to about one chop every 2 seconds, or I can speed that all the way up to the fastest input that the game and the CoCo will actually take. And that's about 7 to 8 chops per second right there. And then the two outputs that I have are basically going to the CoCo joystick. I've got one here, this green wire, which is the fire button on the joystick. And I've got this yellow wire here, which is the wiper arm for the x-axis. And just to show you guys what I have wired up on my screen here. So yeah, there's Timberbot. So basically what I've got on the, see if I can get this to focus. So I've got a couple photoresistors that are basically attached to the screen. I've got just some monofilament fishing line strung across the screen with a couple of shrouded IDC connectors, and you can kind of see the sensor right up against the screen. And all that is one of these, if you've ever fooled around with the old electronic kits, it's just one of these photoresistors. So it senses light and it changes the resistance value based on the light input. So what I can do, just to show you guys a live demo of it, is I'll switch to...
So there's like no game is sacred anymore.
Well, I don't know about that, Ron. This game was basically pretty well suited to it. I mean, you just had two states where you could have a branch on either side, and it was pretty easy to sense those.
Hey, Paul, I'm okay if you want to show them how you broke the game.
Okay, we can do that if you want.
Hey, Ron, just so you know, think of it as having more CoCo players now.
Right.
Right. It's interesting. This is a true robot. It's not an emulator pretending to or something. It's pushing fire buttons and.
Yeah, it's hooked up to the physical joystick port.
Hey, robots are robots.
Yeah, but this is a physical robot. All it needs is little fingers and servos, and it would be.
Then it would be a human.
Yeah, that's right.
It would be scary. Yes.
Say earlier, you're saying chops per second. That's the new measurement of success.
So I have a little button here that's tied to the joystick button as well, so I can just cycle through to actually start off a game. And what I'm going to do here is move the pins over. We'll get a game started, and we'll start at a moderate chop rate of 1 chop every 2 seconds. It's gonna. Oh, didn't get it up there quick enough.
Slow.
And as you can see, the button press went way too quick. So we'll start that back up again.
Even Timberbot falls to the accidental closure of the game.
Yeah, exactly. The one that's
Somehow this reminds me of just a penny every once in a while, into your bank account.
Oh,
Like the movie.
Superman 3.
The power of compound interest.
Yeah, it's a little slow there.
So we'll
Now
dial
you're
it up.
speeding them up. Now you're speeding them up. Bing, 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 bing. Holy crap! Is he hauling buttocks?
That's as fast as he goes.
Okay.
And every once in a while, the photoresistors are susceptible to ambient light, and they'll pick up something that they shouldn't and switch over.
Like the glare from David's head?
Exactly. That's definitely one source.
Ambient light and MAME.
So you could get a different result every time?
You could, unless I have it at the fastest speed and the accuracy is spot on, then the game will basically play forever.
And he's not joking on that. It will go until power goes out.
After you guys watch this, I'll tell you like the story of how he told me about this.
We're
Had me rolling off my chair,
You're
basically.
going to see a bug coming up at about 100 whacks.
We're at 350, 370, 380, level 20, 390. We're now in the
Captain, my
400s.
VDG is overheating.
421, 427,
Look
430.
at the power meter.
What happened to
The
the power
timer
meter?
goes back up. Some
How
bug
did that
in the
happen?
game.
Oh, there's a bug in the game?
Some sort of bug in the game, yeah. So now we could just go infinitely.
So now you're hacking this freaking tree forever.
You must have rolled
That's
over.
where the 991 came from.
You must have overflowed
Exactly.
something.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
And if you loop it, I think the first character is like a exclamation point. Yeah, it's funny. So Paul hits me up on Discord. He's like, I found a bug in Timberman. I said, impossible. So he's like, here, no, let me show you. And he's like, once the timer gets past 4:15, it starts going back up. And I'm like, you got that high on your own? He's like, oh, yeah. And he's like, here, let me show you the bug. And I'm like, you're going to be that consistent? And so he's like pressing the button in the background. And he's like, oh, my God, these deluxe joysticks suck so bad. Blah, blah, blah. He had me going the whole time. It was fucking hilarious. That was so funny. Oh, man.
So Paul
Yep.
just trolled everybody this week.
Yeah, basically. I couldn't resist.
Note
That's
to
so
future
funny.
GameON players.
Can we have this game next week?
Yeah, and while he was like trying to get this all set up for me to watch, I was sitting there like going through the code, like, what did I do wrong? How do I fix this? But it's not humanly possible. So, yeah, exclamation point.
Did you find the bug though? Do you see what's causing it?
No, I can't.
Exclamation point 32 is what the score just got.
Yeah.
Bang 32.
So that's pretty funny.
That's insane.
So a couple other notes on this. So one thing I did want to mention is I originally had the voltage divider coming off these photoresistors going directly into the Arduino because I thought that the chop rate was going to get out of sync with those wiping back and forth. And as it turns out, it works perfectly fine bypassing the Arduino and just using the Arduino as a clock to do the chop rate. So that was kind of interesting to find. The code is actually only a few lines. I don't have it set up where I can show you. But one thing I did want to show you is a scoring chart here. I put a little bit of math behind it, but just to show you how challenging it gets for folks in the later stages. So basically, the way to read this, going from left to right, we have chop rate on the y-axis and the score on the x-axis. So for a chop rate of 2 chops per second, you'll score about 100 points with 100% accuracy, obviously. Then at 3 chops per second, you can get up to around 325. Then to get to about 375, that requires 4 chops per second. 375 is extremely hard to get to, as people that got that high realize. In order to get to 420, you have to double that rate. You have to get up to almost 8 chops per second to get those few extra points.
This is
so
awesome.
It goes up exponentially. It's exponentially harder to obtain those scores to get over 400. So it was a fun little thing, to put this together. But yeah, so that is Timberbot.
I feel like this took more time to do than me making the game.
It's like a white paper on the game.
Wouldn't it just be easier with a cheat book?
Yeah, exactly.
So
but
what
where's
if-
the fun in that?
What if the CoCo was it running at double speed?
It is.
I think the game is.
It
Oh,
is.
it is?
Yeah. So is this a representation of the difficulty curve, basically?
Yes, that's the difficulty of the curve.
Look at that spike.
So what would happen if it wasn't on double speed? Would this chart be different?
The chart would still be the same. It would still follow the same curve. It would probably be, you would probably have the ability to, I don't know if you would be able to chop as fast. The game would probably restrict that. I think it's frame locked. So
Yeah.
I think it would probably be about the same.
That's insane.
The numbers might just be different
This
scaled.
this should just be called the screw you graph, right? So
What's nice, 'cause it takes a bit of effort to learn how to do it, and then you're coasting along doing really well, thinking that you mastered it, and then boom, it kills you.
Now you know what that smug smirk is about.
One
on his
small little
camera
branch.
face.
Yeah.
You'd have to put your extra quarter in at 300.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul, I'm wondering, is Timberbot going to be joining Boston Dynamics soon?
They're right down the road from where I work, actually.
Somebody asked if you'll be selling kits.
I'll throw a gist up that people can download the code from GitHub and schematic. It's unbelievably easy once you see what it is. So if people want to try it themselves, they're more than welcome to.
So just to put things in perspective here from a kind of a historical point of view, this is completely scientific. And we're seeing charts and graphs. We're seeing freaking robots and wires and all kinds of stuff here, anal probes, you name it. But this is not the first time that Paul has done this. A week ago, we saw him pull another Hold My Beer where he cracked the encryption by hacking through the information on the disk, right? And then before that, when Forest of Doom came out, he kind of mentally figured out the whole, I got to plot this out. I got to know where I am, how many steps away I am from the game, and how many, rooms I have to, screens I have to go through to get to where things are. So he has always taken this kind of methodical approach to things and done these pretty cool videos for that. So you've got a very
It's the
analytical
Fiscarelli
mind there.
syndrome.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
love playing around with this kind of stuff. And the CoCo definitely is well tuned for that sort of thing.
So have you done anything with the Gunstar thing?
No. No.
If you could get a sensor for those glyphs, that would be awesome.
There we go.
Sure, that
Dino Run.
Nintendo. Remember the Nintendo robot you could get for the very first Super Nintendo system, the ROB. I'm picturing one of those playing a CoCo game. You somehow wiring it up to a CoCo and having it play.
So
That
from
sounds
now
horrible.
on, if somebody makes a game, it has to be tested by Mr. Fiscarelli in order to make it proof.
I remember one of my inspirations for this game. Someday someone will make a machine that can play this.
Now, Nick Marotta, do we need to update the stipulations in the GameON challenge that participants must be of organic flesh and blood human materials and not made of wires or circuits or software?
Unfortunately, I don't know if this is considered humanist, but yes, people have to be people.
Okay, how about cyborgs?
Organic earthlings. For the time being.
How about cyborgs? Like, if you're the $6 million man, are you still disqualified? You're kind of organic. So.
No bioimplant. Well, I shouldn't say that. You could have like artificial. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Goodness gracious!
I'm sorry, we've detected an Arduino.
Right. So how are we doing on time from mission controls? Anybody watching
It's
NASA right now?
It's 2:40. Oh,
Team
Yeah,
37 and a half minutes.
37 minutes.
They're
So
going
the
to
only-
let him out for a potty break.
So the only thing I need to do is announce their game of the week for next week. If we are, this is really awesome, guys. Thank you both, Tim and Paul, for doing this. It added a whole new dimension to the GameON this week.
I believe history has been made. This is the first time we've been trolled.
And the funny thing is, I thought Tim was the one trolling me the whole week. I had no idea.
You mean Paul?
No, I thought it was Tim Lindner.
Oh, Tim Lindner.
I thought it was Tim that was posting the scores and trolling and everything. And then ended up Paul fessed up to me yesterday and filled me in on what was going on because I wasn't sure how to handle, with a fake score, and I didn't want to have a fake score in the list, and I didn't know what to do, and it was so funny.
I could sense you were getting a little agitated, so
I just wasn't sure how to handle it. So anyway, it was in retrospect, it was really fun week, guys. Thank you both for
putting the challenge in GameON challenge.
Yeah, it's just and from the stuff that was going on last night, the score actually got up to F. What was it? F something. So it got way further last night than it did on this life.
F something, all right.
F, Mary, kill.
We were getting into the alien glyphs from Gunstar.
How many people are on the show?
How many people are in the panel right now?
Yeah, no, on the show, because this is good content.
Oh.
You would think it would draw.
Oh, you're talking about how many people are
watching live right now?
Yeah.
We have 34 people watching us live right now.
Mm.
Yes. So actually, an interesting challenge would be something like getting this to play the Color Robot battle game, or getting CoCos to play chess against each other, where you can write something in MAME or whatever to figure out what's going on in chess. I know it's going to be a lot more complex to figure out what pieces are on the screen. I know that's something to do, but it'd be kind of cool to see this project carried out into further dimensions where we can augment things and have machines play the CoCo to do things. Yeah, battle bots and all kinds of stuff.
Robot Odyssey.
There's 35 minutes to launch.
There's a YouTube video series where they have 8-bit computers play chess against each other.
Yeah.
My dream project for this now is Nightmare Highway Bot.
That probably wouldn't be too.
Listen, Paul Fiscarelli's here. Don't encourage him. He's going to pull another whole beer thing here, and we're going to have the power of Terry.
And now everybody knows why. Now everybody knows why I can't make any headway on projects.
Earl.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you to everybody who participated again this week and made it a really, really great week. Now, Stevie, I'm going to go ahead and grab control just to show off the game.
You've always been grabbing control, Nick. You're drunk with power. Go ahead.
So, in keeping with the space theme, I picked a game that was somewhat space related for next week, and that game will be Lunar Rover Patrol.
Oh,
cool.
Now, for those of you using a CoCo 3, there is an RGB palette not patched, but an RGB enhanced version of palette enhanced on that you can get from Nick Morenti's site.
I believe there's a CoCo VGA one for this one too, isn't there?
I think there is, yes.
So so this is our game of the week, Lunar Rover Patrol. So hopefully we get a good turnout again this week, and thank you to everybody who continues to make this a successful segment.
Fun game. All right, you have some GameON news, right, Curtis?
Yes, I do.
All right,
You
how
want a
about
commercial first?
We'll do a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with some GameON news. So I'm just trying to think. Since I spent so much time working on that new production this morning, I'm going to run that one twice. But I want to figure out what do we want to do.
We'll laugh this time.
How about we'll do some?
It was funny. I liked it. It was really good.
We're gonna do ease of use. So we're gonna let me go ahead and let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can hear the sound that it makes. All right, so we're gonna do a little ease of use, and then we'll be back after these words.
And now this message.
Hi, this is Curtis Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people.
Hey everybody, this is Bill Noble
co-author of Nitrous 9. You are listening to CoCoTALK Live, the leading live Coco Talk show.
G'day, mates. This is Nick Marionettes, author of such colour computer titles as Donut Disaster, Rupert Rhymes, and Rockstar Pilot. And I am here today to tell you about the world's most fabulous operating system, OS 9. OS 9 and its current incarnation Nitrous 9 is the most advanced operating system ever created. And what makes it so good? Ease of use. I find OS 9 so incredibly intuitive that I haven't once cracked open the user manual, and yet I've been able to create such incredible games faster than the time it takes to sing Waltzing Matilda. Using OS 9, I expect my next game, Funstar, will be done this weekend and distributed exclusively on ROM cartridge. OS 9 forever.
Any resemblance to actual events to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
Hi, this is Max Jackson live from CoCo Fest. And you listen to The Real Gamer, Steve Schroe.
We're traveling through a dimension both of sound and ideas. We're at a place where the mind can comprehend and devise a solar radio, a wireless transmitter, measure time and light. 65 electronic projects brought to reality with this science fair kit. Astonishing? Perhaps. But you can find it for Christmas for $17.95 in a place that's known as Radio Shack.
Radios, stereos, recorders, everything in sound.
A whole new approach. Faster than ever. A window to a world of possibilities. Clear your expectations. Clear your hesitation. Just hit clear.
Download EOU today at lcurtisboyle.com.
Hi, this is Sean Wheatley, and you're listening to CoCo Talk with the original gamer, Stevie Stroh.
In these difficult, trying, and uncertain times, the world has changed. The way we work, travel, and interact has gone digital. Tandy and Radio Shack have been using safe social practices and empowering people with technology to work remotely for over 4 decades. CoCoTALK has been meeting online with Skype, Discord, and Zoom to safely connect people for years. When you want safety, technology, and social collaboration, turn to Tandy, Radio Shack, and CoCoTALK, innovating by example. Oh yeah, there we go. And we're back for the GameON news segment of the show.
Oh no, it's time for a nap. Snoozy newsy.
What hadn't you said? Away with you, naysayer. You are not needed here. You have no power here. Be gone.
It's going to be hard to follow up on bots, though.
Curtis
There's
Boyle.
discussion going on as to the legal status of bots in our GameON challenge, whether we should have a separate list for bots and allow them in. So now it's created a whole new social argument. So
As long as there's no riots.
In these trying times, where bots are vying for equal rights in GameON challenges,
bots are people too.
The world has changed. Are you cognizant? Are you considered sentient life?
It's because all you humans are inferior.
Film at 11.
I don't have to worry about bots. It turns out Paul Fiscarelli is my true nemesis.
The bot
But
starts,
remember,
the shooting starts.
humans use the pronoun I and bots use the pronoun one. So if one won, it's a robot. And if I won, it's the human.
Oh, wow. They're showing William Shatner right now live on the SpaceX thing. Okay, cool. All right, L. Curtis Boyle, what is new in gaming news this week, sir?
Well, there's not a ton of news, so I'm going to get some of the bigger stuff out of the way first here, just to make sure we have lots of room for the launch. So the first thing I'll be showing, and let me share this screen. So the Amigos released on Wednesday what will be the second last CoCo show for the foreseeable future. For those who have not heard, John Schuller, the man on the left on your screen, just accepted a new job at the beginning of the week here, where he's actually going to be working at West Virginia State University as the director of institutional research. So he's got a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of training to do. So they kind of hemmed and hawed and talked back and forth between the two of them. And John just feels he can't do justice for all the various shows they've got, because they try to play the games like numerous days to really get a good feel for it. And they're going to keep the Amiga show going because that's their longest running one with the largest user base and fan base they have. And the other shows they have, the Atari 8-bit, the CoCo show, and the Sinclair show will be put on hiatus at least until his training's fully up and done. And then you'll see how much free time he has. Now, they are planning on doing for all those machines, doing occasional, special episodes once in a while when they get time, some live streams every, on an evening or something like that too. So it's not dead. So anyway, on Wednesday, the second last show featured Mind Roll, which is a pretty cool game. It's sold by Radio Shack. Now, I have a question for the people on the panel here. For anybody who's played Mind Roll, they hit the same thing I have on level 1, which is supposed to be dead simple. You're supposed to just jump down this hallway and then jump into a hole onto the next subplane. But 99% of the time, I can't get it to work, and they couldn't either. Has anybody here figured out what the magic is with that?
I've never played that game.
No, I have not played it.
No, I've never figured that one out.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen, I mean, this is using the CoCo 3 color set, but basically you're rolling the ball around, mazes and stuff. And the levels are very different. They're almost different sub-games almost, because there's some where you get to ride pipes like in Mario Brothers and a bunch of other things. It's a really cool-looking game. Works in the CoCo 1, 2, or 3 too. But they have a full review on it, but that first level is something we've hit before too, or at least people around here that I know played the game, and none of us have figured it out. So, and it's even a game that was on other platforms before the CoCo, except it was called QDex, I believe. It was a different name. But if anybody does figure it out, please email me, because I would love to know what the secret sauce is for that one.
Ken Reichert says, "Good riddance of the Donkey King hater."
Okay, and then on Friday, yesterday, they did their live stream on Twitch that they usually do. And this is the last episode of the Sinclair show, the last episode of the CoCo show for now, and then the current Amigo show. Now, I'm not going to play any of the actual show here that's part of the review, but the game is Battle Stations by Novasoft, which was Atomic's subsidiary. So it'll get officially released on podcast and on YouTube on Wednesday. So if anybody wants to watch it, that's the place to go get it. I am going to play about a 6-minute clip here, though, where they're kind of talking about what the CoCo meant to them.
Really?
As they did the show.
6 minutes? Really?
Yeah, 6 minutes. So I'm not sure how loud Twitch is compared to YouTube. So you guys have to let me know if the volume's too much or too little.
Although some of this stuff I paid some bucks for.
You can turn it down.
CoCo 3 is a good example. That was not given to me. I had to pay for that bad boy.
Oh, and I should mention that you also paid for my CoCo 3.
Turn it down
so you're a mark for CoCo 3s. you're like the Saint Nicholas of the CoCo 3.
Let me tell you, and I've probably mentioned this on this show before. I'm going to mention it one more time just because I can. I know you, Boat, and I knew because you had a CoCo 2. And I was like, CoCo 2's got no video out. It's going to be RF. And I know Boat. CoCo 2 has limitations. It's not going to be able to play everything. And I know Boat. I knew if I was going to get you into the CoCo scene, you had to have the easiest, most thorough and complete way into that scene, or you were out. because this is a man who's told me I'm no longer doing original hardware. You've told me that multiple times.
And I'll tell you what, because this is the last episode of the CoCo Show for a while, I do want to soliloquize a little bit, if I may, why I love the CoCo so much.
Please.
The CoCo is really the only computer for months and months and months and months that I've played original. Whenever I play the CoCo, 99% of the time I'm playing original hardware, and I'll tell you why. Number one, no external power supply. I don't have to fool with some extra brick. Number two, it's got an SD storage solution that works, and it works great all the time. You put all the games on there, you can see them, navigation's a breeze. Whoever set that thing up, genius, okay? And number three, the games are my kind of games. You hit the enter button, the game pops up, you start playing, you know what to do almost right away all the time. It's sit down, have some fun, get out. None of this, I know that there are people out there that are into the applications, they're into the OSs, they're into all that stuff. Give me the games, give me as fast into the game as I can, and I'm happy. That's why the CoCo 3 is awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I will say, we've talked about how much we like the SDC on this thing. It's the top of the heap. You can use the joystick to navigate it. It's plain Jane. It's also powerful. If you need extra weirdness, that you have to do, it's great. I think the CoCo 3, and you can see why the price has gone up on these things substantially, even since we've been getting into them. The CoCo 3 is the top of the heap for car computers, and it's there for a reason. But Bo, I know you were surprised at the amount of the variance of games, and how many quality games that there were out there for the CoCo, and for a very select group of people, it's an untapped gaming area for a lot of like retro gamers. I was very fortunate because I grew up with it. I knew it was out there, but even I've been astounded at some of these as we go back to play them, how much fun they still are. And when you don't have to fool around with doing a bunch of crazy stuff to get into the game, it's almost like a console.
It's very, very similar.
You just get in there, and it's almost like an 8-bit console.
I love it's great.
Ironic.
And the thing is, you can't
console.
discount the friendliness of the community either. I mean, I would never.
I would disagree with that.
I would never tune in, and I'm saying this straight up. I would never tune in to an Amiga roundtable or a Spectrum roundtable online like I tune into CoCoTALK. There's just something about the DIY nature of a lot of the people that are into the CoCo scene, and a lot of it's the obscurity of the CoCo too. The CoCo is nowhere near as famous as the Amiga or the Spectrum, and I think that it's kept a lot of sort of the more crazy people out of it. Crazy people just being people that I find annoying. And I still, and you might be shocked to hear this, but I'll turn on CoCoTALK and listen for a half hour, an hour while I'm doing other stuff on Saturday. And I enjoy it. They're not always talking about stuff that I know what they're talking about or even stuff that I'm interested in, but I love the fact that people are still tinkering around with this machine. It's sort of like the metal level. It's super cool. And that's something I'm really proud that we were at least part of that scene in some way for a little while.
Well, I love CoCoTALK too, but I will say if there was a Spectrum or C64 roundtable or Atari roundtable discussion group that was strictly about games, I'd love to be in on that.
But you know what would happen?
I'd sit there and listen
if
to
there
it,
was an Amiga one, it would just immediately devolve into people bickering about the stupid stuff that Amiga people bicker about all the time. If there was a Spectrum one, I don't know, they'd probably be talking about the whole Horus thing all the time, because that's what Spectrum people do. They just complain
Send
about
your hate
stuff that's
mail
going on in the
too.
current scene. The CoCo people, those are the real people in the scene. Screw everybody else.
I love this. I love this.
Wow. Spectrum people are good people, and so are the Amiga people.
Really?
If there'd have to be ground rules. But I will say the CoCo was the one community that I've been around where almost everyone seems to be pulling together, as opposed to just sort of, going crazy. Maybe it's because there's just not a whole. They've made their own universe of hardware and stuff just with kits and their own hands and doing crazy stuff. It's a great community. I mean, everyone has their pluses and minuses, but the CoCo community has been very friendly. And I told Bo when we decided we had to put this thing to bed for a while, that was one of the saddest things for me, was just the fact that I felt like we've been embraced by everybody, and it sucks that we're going out earlier than we'd hoped. But we're going to still try to linger around, and hopefully one of these days we'll come back off hiatus and kick a few more of these out. And we'll probably still release a show now and again from time to time.
So anyway, without any further ado, let's.
Wow!
Anyway.
Always welcome, guys. Always
That was
welcome.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
I know we really enjoyed your
that,
show.
That was a complete surprise. So here I am thinking, I got to listen to these guys talk for 6 minutes. I don't want to hear this crap. And then it's like, oh my God, that was 6 minutes of gold right there. This was awesome. I love it. Those guys suck. Everybody sucks. CoCo people are awesome.
He has redeemed his Donkey King review.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
I completely agree with everything he said. And CoCo Talk too. Good show. Good show. Quality show. Amazing show. Incredible. Fantastic. Fantastic.
And the chat stream down
And
the
show
side.
are we
talking about now?
And humble beyond reproach.
Yeah, that was the best. Was the chat stream where they're just starting to argue with each other about the Amiga scene.
You saw that too.
That was very nice, guys. Thank you, amigos, for
Well,
for
I
your kind
know.
words.
So what I love about what we've been able to foster is that kind of cross pollination, where we mention them, we plug them, they mention our show, they gave us a ton of praise right there. That you could not buy that level of publicity and that genuine stuff.
We got a couple gamers from them, right?
We've got some viewers. Yeah, we've had some
Buck
people
Owens,
join.
I think, is one of them, and
we've had some people join the GameON challenge. So we've said it before. Everybody's welcome to come on the show. These guys are definitely welcome. So if they've got time, if they don't have time to do their own show and they want to come on our show and talk about how the Amiga sucks and all these other things suck, we'll give them plenty of time to do that.
Did he say CoCo Talk or CoCo Crew?
CoCo Talk. CoCo Talk.
Okay.
CoCo Talk. So yes, T-minus 15 minutes. Tim Franklin is reminding us.
Yep,
To the
I'm kind of
launch.
running in the background here too. So.
Very cool. That's so awesome to hear, guys. John and Boat, and best of luck to John and his new, his new endeavor. And we look forward to having him back when they're able to.
Hopefully they keep us posted on how that goes too,
Yeah.
because that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
I'm
so
hoping
awesome.
we're going to try to talk with them about maybe getting one or two of them to guest on our show once in a while, or if they do a live CoCo stream, if they can notify us a bit ahead of time and we can get some of our CoCo Talk people in on their chats and kind of suggest games or tips and tricks or whatever else, and kind of keep the communities joined somewhat as much as we can. I will also mention that this episode that they recorded here, that's going to be released on Wednesday, also has the winner of the Gunstar giveaway, which is the actual CD version of Gunstar. So they've already announced, if you watch on Twitch, who that is, and anybody who entered the contest, you should check to make sure if it's you or not. So I won't say who it is. I'll let
Make
you
sure
guys
it's not
find out.
Timberbot.
It's not Timberbot. There's no bot
Okay.
involved.
Yeah, I see somebody here saying WTF, WTF Boat. So somebody was like saying, what is this guy saying there? The Amigo sucks.
Yeah. Hey, in case people haven't noticed, John's a little bit of a troller once in a while. So he's kind of their Jim Brain.
He unless the guy speaks his mind. So
I'm gonna have to start a new group called CoCo Bot.
all right. Dave Phillipson's asking, this is the Amigos Retro Gaming group, and they have a show they do that's called the CoCo Show, where they talk about CoCo games. So that's who we've been talking about.
They've had like 14 episodes, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah. So
That
some were
was-
double game episodes, and then lately they've been doing single game
You know
episodes.
what we
just
need to
spread
do? We
them out.
need to isolate that and run that as a commercial for CoCo Talk right there. I mean, that
Right?
was just freaking awesome.
If you want to appear in our show, just say nice things about
Yeah,
us.
it's
and we'll
Unpaid
make sure to
endorsement.
spotlight you.
It's so easy. Oh man.
I
Cool.
thought that was worth sharing, and I didn't tell anybody about it. So
No, absolutely. No, that was a pleasant surprise. I was a little apprehensive of like, I don't want to listen to anything for 6 minutes. I got no attention span, but cool stuff.
Like his
anyway,
t-shirt.
we'll keep the
amazing how
communities
hearing
connected,
gets-
and we'll try to get
No, I take
try to
that
get some
back.
stuff with them.
If David Ladd was going to talk about the grease weasel and floppy disks, I would definitely tune in for that for an extended period of time. So,
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, that's going to come back and haunt you.
yes. All right. So what's next? L. Curtis Boyle in the world of gaming news.
Okay, you guys keep an eye on the time here, because you'll have to kick me out, or I'll
Kick you
pause anyway.
Out.
Kick
in
you
the back.
Out and about.
Oot.
I'll be booted. Okay, so I guess I'll go back to the normal order here. So, all Eric Montero, who did, of course, the Outhouse port to the PC using semi-graphics simulated, is actually working on real CoCo graphics now. So he's been fiddling around with some characters here. And I don't think this will zoom. Nope. And I think he said he sped it up since then, too, since this original version. But just showing some of the semi-graphics animation of the standard semi-graphics 4 mode.
That is pretty cool.
And this time running on, CoCo, not on a PC simulating a CoCo. So I'm looking forward to see where he goes with this.
Graphics are cool.
Here's a little bit of a self-plug for me. May was supposed to be my month dedicated to updating the game site. Now, unfortunately, with my dad's passing, I lost a fair bit of time there, so I didn't get quite as far as I'd originally planned, but I still have gotten a fair bit done. I think I've got about 70 games added so far. I'm going to try to hit 80 by the end of the weekend. The worst thing about trying to do this is the research, because I have to research, authors' names because it's not always present, and when it was really published versus a copyright date, et cetera, et cetera. And also the fact that I have to play the games far enough to get some decent screenshots, and sometimes the game is really fun, so I might blow an entire night doing one game, which doesn't really help me speed up the webpage. But I've been doing it alphabetically here since May 7th, as you can see down in the corner here where I put in those 3.
Okay.
And now I'll be completing the C's tonight, and I'll be starting the D's. And then as of Monday, I'm going to be starting to split my time. I'm probably going to do about 4 or 5 days for EOU, a day for the EOU documentation, because that's a collaboration between multiple people. And then I'm going to try to do GameON webpage updates at least once a week. So I'll hopefully keep popping them up and eventually get them caught up. I might take a break from the alphabetical and switch to people that have got games currently out for sale, just so I can get them all and have links to their web pages or PayPal accounts or whatever they need. So any authors out there that have stuff for sale that want to send me a link, what the best link is to either get information or to do the actual ordering of your games are, just send me an email, and I'll put the links directly into those game web pages.
So Curtis, I know that you're kind of like a one-man army here, but would you accept help if people wanted to help do some of the research and legwork for you and feed you some information? Or is that not going to help you because you want to, I don't know. I'm just thinking that, you mentioned
I'm trying to think of a good way to do that. I mean, one thing is that I currently resize the screenshots down to, I make them in GIF format, or GIF if you're weird. And I make them a certain size, because my whole point of making this as retro and as simple as this is eventually I do want to write enough of a browser on the CoCo itself so you can actually browse my own games page from your CoCo and actually see all the screenshots pretty close to what you see on the website right now on your CoCo itself, on a CoCo 3.
Wow.
So there's some restrictions, like I won't be getting fancy and stuff, adding database support and a bunch of other things that would make it easier, but I want to make it so that you can actually hit it from a CoCo fairly simply.
Sure. It's a static page with the simple image.
Yeah. And I mean, there is one thing I could get as I keep adding the games here. I've got these sub-alternate indexes here, and I've had a few requests from multiple people saying, can you start updating those? Now, I have updated the clone index a tiny bit the last month. I've thrown in a few new games and a couple of alternative versions of games, that I hadn't seen before, I haven't got on the webpage previously. So the timeline index, the author index, the publisher index, the official license and cross-platform index, and the clone index. The official license cross-platform, that's pretty well done because we didn't get a lot of official arcade ports. But the other ones here, I mean, there's probably like a couple versions of Centipede I don't have. And then I've got a running list of, I'm kind of making notes of other games that have clones and derivatives and stuff like that. So if somebody wants to do the research and kind of send me, here's every single Defender clone I can think of and every derivative and what's different about the derivative. And then that'll speed up my processing these pages. And the author indexes and publisher indexes and timeline index, which is the years that we released, that I wouldn't mind somebody going through and doing the research. And here's a list of all the games released in 1981. Here's all the games released in 1982 type thing. Because that takes a lot of extra time and that I don't need to be directly involved with. So if somebody wants to help with those alternate indexes and then send me the list, then I can get those done a lot faster. So that I would definitely like some help on.
Okay. And what's the best way for people to reach you on that? Would just email you? Is your email address on your site?
Yeah, it's down here somewhere.
And you're also on Discord, so people can get you on Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
Just look for the guy with the mullet on Discord. You'll find Curtis there. Okay, there's a link that says email me. Okay.
Yeah.
So very cool. Yeah, so this is great to see that this website, which has been kind of a great pillar of knowledge and resources, is getting some much needed content added to it. So thank you, Curtis, for doing that.
Yep, and I'll keep plugging away. I'm actually going to schedule it at least, like I said, once a week now from now on. I've neglected it sometimes for like a year or 6 months or whatever, and then I'd pop in a couple new ones, and that's it. I'm actually going to schedule it so that I'm staying on top of it a bit more. But like I said, I think after tonight and maybe part of tomorrow, I'm going to switch to new games. So if anybody has games currently on sale, fire me an email in the next 24 hours, and I'll try to get them all up as of Sunday night before I switch to doing EOU stuff next week, so that you guys will have an alternative place that people are looking for CoCo games and find my site first. They'll actually have direct links to wherever you have your ordering set up. Or if you have a page devoted to it, then it has a sub link for ordering off that. Then we can promote some of the newer software. So I'm hoping like John Strong, Nick Marentes, Bruce Moore, Paul Thayer, everybody else that has stuff for sale. Send
Roger
it up.
that. Okay.
Ken Make It did say, I see a lack of furniture.
There's a couple of the Andrew Perkursky games from T&D do have some furniture in them, so that's not quite true. But
All right.
Okay. How are we doing for time? We got 6 minutes. They haven't scrubbed yet, so I'm assuming it's happening.
I think they're going to go
59. 1 minute left. 59. No, 59.
Yeah, it's like about 5.5 minutes almost.
Okay, so I'll just breeze through this. This will be the last of the game news anyway, and then regular news I'll do after the launch. There's not too much of that either. Cuthbert Dragon, which has been doing all the Dragon games on live, Real Dragon, on an actual CRT that he films, put a whole bunch out this last week. There's a few here that I could play, like Tee Off. This is the Dragon version. The CoCo version has artifacted colors. It's a golf game. I don't know if too many people have seen that one because it's a bit more rare. Some of these other ones I've recently demonstrated. Arcadia was one I hadn't seen before.
Speaking of Flag and Bird, it's center of that screen there. That's the one I mentioned that Bosco had done. Yeah.
And there was a couple others here. Monsters and Flight. Flight, I think this is... It looks similar to the Prickly Pear Flight Landing Simulator. I don't know if it's the same one, just converted for the Dragon. Monsters was one I had not seen before.
Okay, and Jason has posted the link to this YouTube channel in the live chat, right? CoCo Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for those who want to drill into this and check out all these videos, then please do.
Yeah. Now, before the launch is happening fairly shortly, is there any one of these that you guys would like to see? I'll just scroll up so you can kind of get the recent list. I mean, most of these you've seen before, the standard CoCo games, but there are a few that are more Dragon unique.
Is Flag and Bird available on the CoCo, or is that a Dragon only game?
No, it's on the CoCo and MC10 and the Dragon. I mean, since we mentioned it earlier, I can throw that one up too. Like Arcadia, I hadn't seen that one before, I don't believe. Leggett, I think.
What do we have up there? Ruby something?
What row are we talking here?
Top row.
Ruby Raba. I think that's one Stevie actually demonstrated here a couple months ago. The one where the whole line of stuff slides over as you're moving around. Have you seen Flag and Bird, Nick?
No, I've seen the original, but I've never seen Flag and Bird.
Well, how about we throw that one up since we've got 4 minutes for the launch?
About 3.5 minutes.
That's about how I score on it.
I was going to say that was.
Paul Fiscarelli, if you want to make a robot to do this game, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a keyboard? Or is that keyboard?
Yeah, I think you just tap the space bar to jump.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This one might be a little bit hard, but let me see what I can do.
Hold my beer.
The robot would go ahead and make its own self-destruct mechanism.
This is one frustrating game.
Yeah.
But look how smooth it is. Like the background scrolling and the kind of, multi-plane scrolling and stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
This was his first project, Steve Bamford, and
well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he the one that did the MC10 for, or was that somebody else?
I'm not sure, honestly, if he did that. I don't know if Darren Atkins actually did that or not. Because I think he was actually a little bit surprised to see it, because I don't think he had done it. So like, wait a second. I know the game is free, but it kind of showed up somewhere I didn't even know about. So
Down to
It's
about 2 minutes.
really smooth scrolling.
Yep.
Got time for one more quickie?
Sure, that's what she said.
I'll do Arcadia because that's one, like I said, I hadn't seen before either. So.
Oh, it's our favorite colors right there.
Yeah. Well, the title screen's pretty impressive. Let me just back tack to that.
Yeah, because is that PAL artifacting?
Yeah. Well, it's not even supposed to be artifacted, but yeah.
This is a great segue since it's space themed.
Yep.
Oh, I like the explosion sound.
It's fast.
How are we doing on time there, folks?
1.5.
1.5.
Oh, yeah, I'll just let this run for another 30, 40 seconds and I'll cut.
Oh, the stream must be about 30 seconds behind.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get ready to watch the live. All right, are you done sharing? Okay. Okay, very cool, very cool. Well, history is about to be made. I need to see if I can add into here. Let's see. We're going to add it into the screen.
Under a minute.
Yep.
CoCoTALK salutes.
Hold on.
Buck. Oh,
that's the wrong thing. I do have one here that's just called left screen. So we can go ahead and bring this up here for the meantime.
Go for launch.
It looks like the YouTube's about 30 seconds behind the live TV you guys are seeing. So.
Yeah. Because we're at like T-minus 10 on TV.
Okay. Yeah, 1 minute 10 here.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Yeah.
No spoilers, Jason.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched. And so rises a new era of American spaceflight.
I don't know that I'd want to ride on something called demo.
Generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds
Now, was Timberbot involved in the launch technology of this at all?
So, Steve, can you see this from outside your window?
Well, I'm not outside my window right now, so.
Flying crew on board.
Was OS 9
look at them go.
What happens if you hit the clear key?
Is there a beautiful trash icon?
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
I'm still disappointed that Bob and Doug weren't wearing toques.
Reports say all systems are go.
Take off, eh?
Just did, eh?
They did.
Vehicle is supersonic. We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
Top-notch tracking.
Yeah.
We're throttling back up to full power as we're through max Q.
As it goes away.
And we heard that one Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second. At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about 2.3 Gs, 2.3 times the Earth's gravity, already moving at over 1,500 miles per hour.
We've heard the call out for MVAC engine chill. That's getting the MVAC engine ready to light. That'll come at about 2:44 into
What was
flight.
the dragon thing that was there?
Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event
1,500 miles an hour. Wow.
is going to be the triple. We'll have main
Okay,
engine
for
cutoff of the
64K
9
grade.
first stage engines,
Stick
stage
with it.
separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry astronauts into orbit. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
M1D throttle down.
Oh, I like the camera looking at Earth underneath them now, huh?
We heard we're throttling down the Merlin engines on the first stage.
Looks round to me.
Getting ready for a stage separation there.
Does the Earth look round, you guys? Is that what you said?
Yep.
And we have
Fake
Miko.
news. It should
Finally.
be flat.
I was gonna say, we'll finally get our answer.
Looks like a
Look at
circle.
that. I mean, the camera technology they have now to
MVAC ignition.
in the latency, like we're seeing this. I'm assuming real time.
All right, we have
And 6
stage
foot away
separation
and
from the first stage beginning its flight back.
130,000
The
miles
second
away
stage
are
being
both in
powered
focus.
by that
What's
single
that?
Merlin 1D
Now,
vacuum engine.
they're
has
going to the
ignited
ISS, right?
and is now
Acquisition of signal.
carrying
Yes.
Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second
Stage
stage.
2 propulsion is nominal.
I also understand they're going to be trying a manual docking.
CoCo, or second engine cut off at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds
they had a
into
simulator
today's
for
flight.
that
So a little
that they
over 5
released,
minutes to go still
a couple
on
weeks
this
ago that
second stage.
is
They're
really,
gonna call
really
out
well
2
done.
Alpha, so they're now in the longest abort
So you
zone
can
that
see what
carries
it's going to
them
take
all the way
for,
from about North
for them to
Carolina
do
up
that
the
docking.
eastern seaboard.
And a
almost
friend of
to
mine
Canada.
played it, and he
Things looking good,
he
though,
managed to
getting
dock
good
4 out of 5
nominal
times.
propulsion on
And
that
I
second
figured
stage.
that one time that he
Bob and Doug
missed was
continuing to
about
make
like the
their way
guy
into
that
orbit.
docked the progress module onto Mir and caused a fire.
Wow.
Dragon SpaceX nominal trajectory.
He was a little drunk, which I'm expecting the Dragon crew is not.
SpaceX Dragon nominal trajectory.
Does anybody know anything about the astronauts?
All right, here in nominal trajectory, so Dragon
I do
pointed
not.
in the right direction, continuing to make their flight out.
I hear they're big fans of
Heard
CoCo Talk, and
acquisition
they
of
feel that the
signal
CoCo
Bermuda,
community is
that's one of
better than
the
all those other
ground
douchey
stations
ones.
that they're using to get data back from this spacecraft.
Stage 2
They're
propulsion is
both
still
being on
nominal.
the shuttle.
Getting some echo from Rick.
I'll go away.
The NASA streams in their Facebook feed, they've had quite a bit about Launch America over the past couple months, including about the vehicles and about the software and the support teams, as well as the actual astronauts and the mission payloads and things like that. So
A little over 4 minutes.
if you're
40
on the
seconds
Facebook
into the
page
flight,
or you're on the NASA
Bob and Doug
site
flying at more than
for Launch
5,600
America,
miles
you
Dragon
can find all that
SpaceX
info.
nominal trajectory.
already almost 200 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Nominal trajectory continuing.
Nominal means good, right?
Yes.
Nominally.
And while they continue uphill, looks like we are getting a view of the first stage
I
as
don't.
well.
I don't want to brag,
Yep, on your
but
right screen,
CoCoTALK
you
has
can
got
see
enough
that first stage
technology
with the
to
grid
bring
fins
NASA
deployed.
into
it's making
its
its way
own
back
broadcast.
to attempt to land
I'm
on
just saying.
our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Where's
today.
when's the
We're
part
just
when they
about
shoot
a
the car
minute,
out into
a
space?
couple minutes away from the entry burn, and that's where 3 of
That was
the
a fun launch.
9 Merlin engines
Yeah.
do
Cars were so
ignite
not
to
this
help
year.
slow the vehicle down as it
This year
re-enters
is
back
peoples.
into the Earth's
Shooting
atmosphere.
peoples into space.
And then after the entry burn will be the landing burn, which is just a single engine
Dragon
burn.
SpaceX nominal
I think
trajectory.
on the bottom looks like a giant fly swatter.
And you heard
Nominal
starting chill.
Yeah.
there's that
That's to
call
take care
out.
of the
They
murder
are
hornets
still
coming
on
from
a nominal
space, though.
trajectory on Dragon.
Space
Still
Murder
on
Hornets, is that
second
your new
stage, and
game?
that's that MVAC engine on
Space
second
murder
stage on the left
hornets
screen.
from outer space.
Sounds like a National Enquirer headline.
Slightly
Again, on
irritated.
your right screen is that first stage.
Ken's
booster
probably
coming
already
back
programming that.
towards our drone ship.
Yeah,
Of course, I
starting.
still love you. We're about a minute away.
The MC-10
from
port
entry
is
burn.
done now.
Meanwhile, that second
Their
stage
speed
continuing to power
continues to
Dragon
go.
into orbit. Again, if you're keeping an eye on that timer,
It's
that's
amazing
gonna
how
continue to burn
Comet
until
looks
8
inside the
minutes and
capsule.
44
I mean, there's
seconds
like no
into flight.
vibration or
So a
anything.
little
I
over
mean,
2
it's
minutes
probably
from now,
much
we'll
different
see the
inside,
call-out
but it looks
CoCo.
pretty calm.
It'll then be a little
Stage 2
under, or a
propulsion
little
is still
over,
good.
a little over 3 minutes until Dragon physically separates.
Yeah,
from
but
the
I bet
second
if you
stage
were
of
looking at the
Falcon 9
telemetry off of
after
the
upgrade.
astronauts
Dragon
themselves,
SpaceX
you would see
nominal
that it's
trajectory.
not calm at all.
Dragon copies, nominal
Oh, that's so
trajectory.
cool to watch.
This is in
Continuing to
fact
check
the
in
2
with
for
Bob
1. We
and
have a
Doug
landing and a
as they are
takeoff.
on a
Eh?
nominal trajectory.
Did you just say take off, eh?
Just about 10
did.
seconds away.
Hey.
Yeah, they did. I must be too close to Canada. So
Take off,
the,
eh?
Should be able to see
That's
that
a Bob and Doug
live.
statement right there.
Take off, eh?
so the booster's
A landing,
going
they
down,
hope.
and the crew capsule's going up.
Yeah, well, landing, they hope.
And there is that entry
let's
burn
see.
beginning.
Where's that boat? Oh, sorry, ship, barge.
This burn lasts
It's out of a
about
boot.
36 seconds long.
Stage 2 FTS.
How are we able to see flames when there's no oxygen? It's something else.
They're coming down in the atmosphere.
Oh, they're coming down already.
Continues. We're just about
The
a minute
booster is
away
being
from
retrieved.
CoCo. We'll have a number of events.
That's
all
coming down in your
happen
backyard.
in rapid succession.
That's coming
If
down
you
in
look
California.
to your left, Stevie, you'll see.
Oh, is it California?
For that stage 1 landing burn
Where's the boot?
shortly after.
Yeah, actually just within a few seconds of each other. It's such a cool view on your left screen, seeing Bob and Doug on Dragon. Right now you can see the displays that they are seeing right now themselves.
Terminal guidance.
MVAC throttle step.
Looks like it's running a little hot.
I think they need to
We are
6309
coming up
those
25
CPUs.
seconds
It's
or
a
so
damn
away
slow
from
display.
CoCo, or second engine cutoff.
This is also the point where
I think we did finally
Bob and
figure
Doug
out
are
that some of the
experiencing their
original
highest
rocket
G-force
program stuff
in the
actually did
counter
use
take up to
6809
right about
OS9
1.8.
systems as part of their test equipment.
Copy, Shannon.
I don't think any of it
We're
was on the
Shannon,
shuttle, but
so
some of the
that just
test
means they're in their
equipment
No, it was out at
If
Canaveral.
they were to abort at this point, would either be an abort to orbit or to land off the coast of
I think it was
Ireland,
gimmicks
standing by for
boxes.
second
Stage 1 landing
cutoff
startup.
confirmation.
They had like 4 of them.
Yeah, I think it
something like
was gimmicks. Yeah.
Speaking of taking off, I got to. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Polly, thanks for your
See
game.
ya.
Confirmation
Hope
of
everybody had fun
CoCo's
playing
second
Timberman.
cutoff.
See ya.
Lots of fun.
Now
care.
we're waiting for our first stage
I think some of the
to
early
make its way
laptops
to our
they
drone
used
ship.
on the
Of course,
shuttle
I
were
still
from
love
Grid,
it.
which of course later became part Tandy.
Did get confirmation
Oh,
of
watch
nominal
this.
Dragon
orbital
copy.
insertion.
Nominal orbital insertion.
And
What
Something's
you're
gonna
seeing on
happen.
your screen is a live view of our drone ship, where our first stage will be coming down. Looks like we lost that live view, but we'll wait for confirmation of that landing shortly here.
oh, they didn't show the.
There were
And
things
there you can
splashing
see
down
on
in
your
the water
screen,
when they
Falcon 9
showed
has
the-
landed. This is the
There it
first
is.
Falcon 9 to carry humans
Hey, it
to
didn't
orbit,
fall over.
so very exciting for us.
Oh, fantastic. Means I
And
can
as
reuse it
you can
again.
see on your right screen, Bob and Doug
As long as you don't
are
get it wet,
still
right?
making their way to their targeted orbit.
M1D to recovery 1.
So exciting today.
I'm not too sure about riding on a rocket that they
doesn't
call
stop.
demo.
It does not stop.
All right, we did hear again
Sounds
that
too
call
close
out
to
good
beta.
orbital insertion, so that means
They're
Falcon
all
9 and
experimental
Dragon right now
vehicles.
exactly where they're
Every
supposed
single
to be.
launch.
Well,
M1D
yeah,
to
but-
FRC. on recovery 1.
I
And it's
see
right
demo
about
is
12
also
minutes
demolition,
when Dragon
ramming
will
into
separate.
something.
It's better than
Looks like
one
we
that's
saw a
called
zero-G
irregular
indicator
or
floating
factory
around
second.
there. I know Bob and Doug owe us a little
Let's
bit
take
about
Scratch
what
and Dent
exactly
project
that is
to
that they brought
orbit.
up with them.
Hey, we put men on the moon with the lowest bidder.
And before separation, before
They're showing
Dragon
off
initiates
microgravity.
separation from the second stage, they do make sure
Dragon floating
to
around.
make they do ensure that
It's good the
vehicle is
booster
not
made it
spinning
okay.
and
I don't know
is
what the
in
waves
good
are like up by Florida
condition
there, but-
before we separate.
That's right. The upper stage does small attitude maneuver using some cold gas thrusters built into the rocket body itself.
I know it took off from California. I don't know if they came back to California.
Exactly. So we do expect that separation to
So
occur
Nibble
in
is
about a
saying he
minute
doesn't
from
see any
now, but
couches in their flight path.
they do wait until we have full confirmation that it is ready to
I
separate.
knew they're missing something.
Nightmare rendezvous.
Such cool views. I cannot get over this view that we are seeing right now. Bob and Doug on the
So
right
what kind of time
screen
frame do we have
inside
till
of Crew Dragon,
IIS?
out in space.
Tomorrow or something?
Yeah, already 200 kilometers.
Yeah,
away
NASA
from
usually
there,
plays that one
or
safe. I know
a
the
little
Russians
over
have done it in like
124
hours,
miles,
but
traveling in
need a
excess
special flight path to
of
do that.
2,700 meters.
So they gotta sit in those
27,000
seats for
meters
the
per
whole
second,
day?
or about 16,000 miles per
Well,
hour.
they're pretty comfortable with no gravity.
Yeah.
Again, we're just standing by that
So they're
separation
not going
event should
directly
be
to
coming
the
up
ISS?
shortly. Then
Well, it
they'll
takes a
begin a
bit-
series of
it takes
checks
some
on
time
the
for
Draco
the
thrusters
capsule
that
to
are going
catch
to be
up to
used
it.
to maneuver and then power.
Yeah, because
Dragon
ISS is moving
on its
around
flight to the
18,000 miles an hour
International
itself.
Space
So
Station. Standing by for separation.
They got to keep building up
Expected
speed
loss
to get
of
up to the
signal
right
loads.
orbit.
It sounds like we had an expected LOS loss of
and
signal.
in the
with one of
meantime, it
ground stations.
depends.
Waiting for confirmation.
Oh,
now
look
of
at that. There's
Dragon
separation.
confirmed.
Dragon separation confirmed.
There is a
Another
great
stage?
view right in front of you
Countdown
of
1 is
Dragon
Yeah, it must be stage
separating.
2.
This is what Ron's talking about, where they
And
kept
there's
using their
that
hands, huh,
call-out.
Ron?
Dragon
Sounds
is
like they kept
now
using their hands.
officially
It looked like they
making its
were
way to
told
the
to do
International Space Station today.
Prompted.
Yes.
Dragon SpaceX with that separation call. We have a few words for you.
And there's a bird flying, but did you guys see the little bird fly out the window there a second ago?
Yeah.
Space bird.
Standing by.
Stanley Kubrick all over again.
Dragon to ground.
They take an alien
Bob
fire.
Doug, on behalf of the
effects are
entire
amazing.
launch team, thanks for flying with Falcon 9 today. We hope you enjoyed the ride and wish you a great mission.
You are now free to roam about
Thanks,
the capsule.
Bala. Congratulations to you and the F9 team for the first
Be
human
through with
got the
beverage
toilet
service
first.
here
for
shortly.
Falcon 9, and it was incredible. Appreciate all the hard work, and thanks for the great
Some good social
ride to
distancing
space.
from Earth.
Yeah.
Copy all.
Oh, and like
In just a little bit, cabin service will be coming by. If you would like a beverage or a complimentary bag of peanuts, please let the serving attendant know.
Now, mind you, you will have to observe sucking the peanuts through a straw so they don't float around the capsule. But I do like the screens, the touch screens they've got for the astronauts. So that's definitely more advanced than NASA.
And
A little
Dragon
bit, yeah.
SpaceX, we confirm nominal
The whole
vehicle
thing looks like
activation
something
and
out of a
service section
movie.
Draco checkouts.
From their
nose cone
In fact, I
deployed
think I
in
see
progress.
ease of use running in a little window on the right there.
Just hit clear.
We're
I was
monitoring.
gonna say these aren't running on 30-year-old hardware like the old rockets
The
used
core
to.
here in Hawthorne
Like
giving
old
the
shuttles
crew
and
a
that.
heads up
They used to run on really old hardware, right, where the code
that
was.
we have confirmation
really,
the nose
really
cone
well
is
known
just
and not
deploying.
updated.
So again, that nose cone is going to open
It
up a
looks
little bit more
staged.
than 90 degrees, goes up to about I think 105 degrees, and that's going to expose the actual docking ring and the hatch that they're going to be going through once they attach
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
International Space
It's just
Station.
two
And
guys
also
playing
four
on
of those
computer
Draco
games with a
thrusters, we call
triple
them
screen
forward
display.
bulkhead
Couple of
thrusters,
iPads
I've seen
that are
this
gonna be used
before.
for
Yeah.
these
I mean,
major
the
phase
giveaway is the
burns or
fact that
firings
the
of
Earth
those
looks
thrusters
round.
to
I mean,
actually
it's.
raise their orbit gradually over the coming hours.
I mean, there's a big fight.
You can clearly
Also
see
heard
the
good
string on
activation
that.
of the heat
That's
pumps,
ex-
the
that's
environmental
exactly what I would
light
expect from
support
someone from a
systems,
fake
everything
country.
controlling their atmosphere, just keeping Dragon
Nimble,
nice, safe,
Nimble
habitable
Post opens the
environment
door.
where they're going to be
Just want you to know
living
we're
for
all
the next
counting
19
on
hours
you.
until they
Close
arrive
the
at the space station.
Exactly.
See from airplane.
Falcon 9's job may be done for
Just want you
today,
to know,
but the
we're all
mission
counting
is
you.
not over. Crew
And this
Dragon's
was-
job is
this
not
was
done.
launched
As
from
you can
Florida.
see, Bob and Doug are still
Okay.
inside Crew Dragon, making their way. It will be a
It would be
19-hour
kind of
trip
cool to
the
see if
International
they
Space
would interview
Station
Felix
before
from
they
the
dock
Red Bull jump,
tomorrow
just
morning.
to see what he thinks now.
And such cool views. I love that we can get these
3
live
Tesla
views here
screens.
and see and watch what they're doing now that they are in orbit.
Yeah, the actual Tesla launch in space, that should be
incredible
pretty
to
well
just be
bleached
looking
white by
over
now,
their
shouldn't it?
shoulder to be along for the ride. And we're going to be with them, and we're going to be with all of you the entire way for their journey to the space station. We're going to be covering live.
Please
the route.
feel free to
Bob and
move
Doug will
over to
obviously
the
have a
veranda
sleep
deck.
period.
Man, look at all the
We'll
screens they
get
got
light
there.
entertainment.
Today.
Look at
I
that.
wonder
They
what
wake
movie
up
they're
for
going to
all of
watch.
their final
By the way,
approach.
this is what
One of
CoCo
the
Talk
major
Broadcast
things we are
Central
looking
looks
forward
like
to
here.
in the next couple of hours is going to be their first.
I thought it was that outhouse I was
They're
at that
actually
one
going
time.
to be using those touchscreen displays to take control and manually pilot Dragon. We'll walk you through what that's
Hello,
going to look
everybody.
like, and assuming
Hey,
we have some good ground
crikey.
station coverage, we'll be able to get views from right inside Dragon, looking
Managed
over
to get
their
everything up
shoulder
and running. I've
as
got
they
2 streams
manipulate
going. I
the
can actually
controls
watch
at the
the
display.
launch and
But I
CoCoTALK.
mean, we had a smooth ride.
two best things
uphill
going
both
on today.
stages of the Falcon 9,
Yeah,
doing their
absolutely.
job, placing Bob and Doug.
We haven't
in
quite decided
orbit.
the order of those two, but
I
yeah.
mean, this is a day. This is a historical day. This is us
Just
kicking off
just
that
in
new
time, I
era of
literally got
spaceflight
an
that
internet
we've all
upgrade
been
today,
talking
so
about
I've got an
and
extra
longing
25
for
gigabytes and more
since the
bandwidth.
space
So
shuttle program came to
that
an
was
end in
perfect timing.
2011.
Yes.
And the weather cooperated.
Yes. Second time's a charm.
Right.
David, do you know what time the actual dockings do?
All right, so day for the history books.
Is it
As you
19
can see,
hours from
we
now?
have
I think.
lost some
I think that's
live
what they said,
signal there,
19
but
hours,
The mission
we're
still
planning to dock.
continues, and
So,
we're going
are
to
we
send
just
it
gonna-
over
are we just
to
gonna stand by and
KSC,
do
to
extra news
continue,
until then, or?
broadcasting live.
19-hour show. Yeah.
I better
Don't we
start
do that
padding
every
it.
week?
Cassie and Dan, we are just in awe over
The CoCo
here.
Talk
I woke up this
Telethon,
morning
hour
and
14.
NASA MSV3K edition.
All
We
right.
already know we can do a 6-hour show. Yeah, that's true.
Only
We've
if we
done
have
that.
Darren Ottery kick off with a nice music
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
Oh, I could, yeah. We need another one of those.
Tim Frank says, anybody know what the in-flight meal and movie is? Yeah, the movie's Airplane.
In-flight meal would be the
Did he have
in-flight
the
meal would be
fish?
meatballs. That'd be meatballs.
That was cool. That was cool. That was very, very, very cool. When was the last time humans were launched into space? I don't even know.
Well, the Russians have been doing it for a while.
Well, how long is
ISS
is there anybody on the ISS right now?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
How long is that person? How long has he been there?
It's been 24/7.
There's been somebody in space for 20 years, constantly.
Yep, it's continually manned 24/7, and it was 9 years today since they launched the last space shuttle mission. So the last time they launched any American astronauts from American soil was 9 years ago.
Wow, but
everything else has been Russia so far.
We've been paying Russia to launch our people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Soyuz is absolutely indestructible, and
so people have. What's that, Tim?
Oh, the Soyuz quality ships, they work.
Unless you put a drill to them.
Right? I'll just put some Capcom tape on it. It'll be fine.
Oh my goodness! So people have been being launched into space, but this is just the first time it's been from America.
It's the first time a private company has done it ever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I think a decade period or so.
Wow.
Last shuttle mission.
It's
yeah, 9 years.
It's such a shame that we got so jaded. I remember as a kid the first time things were launched into space. Watching it on a little tiny black and white TV. I remember the first time, people went on the moon, and that was like never had been done in history, and it was an amazing thing. And then since then, throughout the 70s and 80s, it seemed like they were just shooting shuttles up so often. It's another shuttle. Who cares, So we kind of the magic of it seemed to kind of maybe not be as appreciated as much. So
TV kind of ruined it too.
Yeah.
If you've seen a launch live, it is completely different.
I've never actually seen a launch live, so for me,
either. But I do.
For me,
go ahead.
For me, this thing is just like this is just as exciting to me as what the initial first space shuttle launch was. And I remember that first space shuttle launch, 81 or 82 or whatever, 81 I think it was. 81. And yeah, the reason why I wanted to just watch this undistracted was because all the lead up stuff I just find absolutely fascinating. And it's good to be back with the crew on CoCoTALK now, and we've all got to see it live. It's just fantastic. I'm really excited. I'm pumped about it.
The biggest difference is the lack of the earthquake, because you have people that's like, oh, there's no possible way we could really launch people in space. All these conspiracy idiots, but frankly, when you're 8 miles away from the launch and the machine shakes the ground to the point where you fall over, and windows are rattling in the frames or breaking if they didn't replace them with plexiglass, you can just I know why Buzz Aldrin hit that dude for saying that they didn't go to space, because the machine makes an earthquake for 10 miles around.
Wow.
It's possible.
Yeah, that's
all
amazing.
Possible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one. I always weigh up conspiracies. There's some conspiracies I believe that are real, but I tell you what, the space one. Oh, we didn't go to the moon. Oh, what a load of bunk! It's just so stupid. It's just as bad as the flat Earth theory.
Yeah, I've had some of the cheese, so I know we've been there.
It's cheese.
I mean, if we haven't been to the moon, how would they have created Lunar Rover Patrol, our game for next week?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Filmed on
Actual
location.
footage.
And Alan Murphy had a great suggestion that we should tie in a bunch of CoCo themed space games on Space Talk today, but I just ran out of time before I could get them all loaded over to CoCo to do. So we're thinking that maybe tonight we'll do a GameON where we will, of course, we have the game of the week, which is Lunar Rover Patrol, but we can make it a Space Talk, CoCoTALK After Dark GameON gaming stream where we can play just all kinds of miscellaneous CoCo space themed games tonight. So that'll be kind of fun. We'll carry on the space theme all night long. Favorite Lionel Richie song too. So do we have more news? We have like real news to do, right, L. Curtis Boyle?
Yeah, not a ton of them, but there's a few.
All right, so we're going to take a commercial break and we'll come back with news from L. Curtis Boyle, everyone's favorite Canadian. It's time for everyone's favorite Canadian, L. Curtis Boyle.
No, it's Nick Marotta.
So let's see.
I'm just a hack.
I gotta see what commercial I want to run.
Have we done the PSA yet?
Which commercial? Which commercial are you going to break?
I kind of want to see the CoCo Thoughts again. That was pretty funny.
You want to see the CoCo Thoughts again? We will do that. We will lead in with the CoCo Thoughts while I figure out what commercial to run. Here we go.
And now, CoCo Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. Sometimes the CoCo is I never wanted to be a thinker at all. I wanted to be a Timberman. The colorful graphics. The unlockable characters. Ron Delvaux. I'm the Timberman and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I chop all day.
He's the Timberman and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he chops all day.
I chop at trees from side to side. I cannot tell a lie. If one little tiny branch touches me, I fall right down and die.
He's the Timberman and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he chops all day.
CoCoTALK will return after these messages.
CoCo2, c'est le coq champignon, des micros et donne le pion. Pour le jeu, il est pas bavard, les études, c'est pas bizarre. L'expansion, il a ça, les commandes, tu vas voir ça. Notre CoCo est programmable, pour tes cours, c'est bien serviable. CoCo2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac.
Un ordinateur couleur qui a de la personnalité. Le CoCo2 de Radio Shack. On solde pour Noël à partir de 149,95.
CoCo2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac. C'est toi et CoCo2.
And now, CoCo Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. If you're using your color computer in Quebec and it stops working, is it now a CoCo won't do?
Hi, Ron Delvaux, Timberman, CoCo Fest, CoCoTALK.
In a world where RGB produces black and white video, one cable can make a difference. Switcheroo. CoCo3ScartCable.com.
Hey, have you got your CoCo 3 yet? Hi, this is Rick Adams, author of Temple of Ram and Shanghai, and you've tuned into CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer.
What's going on, everybody? Original Gamer Stevie Stroh here, and if you're a fan of vintage computing and retro gaming, then you're going to love our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. There you will find custom designs by Instagram artist Joel M. Adams. You can get I'm a Coconut, CoCoTALK, and other cool video game images on a t-shirt, coffee mug, or mouse pad. So if you love retro, then head on over to the retro swag shop at 8bit256.com today. Tell them the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you.
Radio Shack's store-wide manager's red tag sale is on now. We've slashed prices 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Save on famous Radio Shack hi-fi, car stereo, radios, toys, TV games, calculators, walkie-talkies, and CB radios. Look for the big red tag. Save like never before on these and literally hundreds of red tag specials. Hurry into Radio Shack today.
Hi, this is Randy Kindig of the Floppy Days podcast. I just love me some CoCo, and nobody covers it better than Steve Strobridge. You're listening to CoCoTALK.
From around the world, what you need to know. Get caught up on News with L. Curtis Boyle.
Muppet News Flash.
All right, we are back, and we are here with news, and we've got our foreign correspondent from that third world country known as Canada.
That flat third world country.
At least it's a real country, unlike Australia, which is obviously fake.
That's right. So.
Yeah, we don't exist.
L. Curtis Boyle, what is new in the world of news? We are dying to know.
It's a Muppet Newsflash. Should I be Beaker? Okay, let me share the Mr. Screen here. You guys see that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so first up, I'm got these probably a little bit out of order here, but
yeah, thanks, Curtis.
Actually, this first one's right. I have to switch between my browser and another app for one of the news things. I'm not sure I'm going to do that.
CoCo Mech keyboard there.
Yeah, and that's Gary Becker, of course.
Oh, Gary Becker. I didn't recognize. Yeah, that's Gary Becker.
Where's the Becker port on that CoCo then?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is thanks to James Diffendaffer, sorry. He posted a link in Discord this past week of the Central Texas Retro Computer Club online meeting for May the 2nd. Now, on this call were like Brendan Donahue, Gary Becker, says a few CoCo people, some other Tier City people too. But Gary was kind of giving a little bit of an update on the Gimme X stuff here, so I thought I'd play this because I don't think a lot of people got to see this before. So
no.
Let me know if the volume's okay.
Everybody see this one?
Yeah.
This
bring it
is
up a notch.
The inside of Color Computer 3, Tandy Color Computer 3.
Is there anything on the keys?
Yeah, they're kind of light. This is an aftermarket keyboard.
Oh.
Let me see if I can maybe get a little bit better video on that.
Gary, is that one of Ed Snyder's keyboards?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot more rugged than the original one is.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
But the main thing I wanted to show on this is there's a plug-in for it here, right in here, which is a project I've been working on for slightly more than a year. Ed actually did the hardware part of it, but I'm doing the FPGA part of it. It's called the Gimme X. The Gimme is the main chip on the Color Computer 3. So we are recreating the Gimme and then adding extensions to it.
Huh.
And then there's the memory board right in here, which holds 2 meg. The original only had up to 512 on it. And then the Gimme X, yeah.
So Gary, would you say the Gimme X is it's a CoCo VGA, except that it works with the latest version of the CoCo, right? The CoCo 3.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it gives a few more video modes. The original Color Computer, was limited to 16 colors max, and I've actually added 256 color mode to this. And then there's several different 256 color modes, and then I've done some other extensions to it stuff also. But yeah, that's something that me and Ed have kind of been working on now for, like I said, slightly more than a year.
Wow.
He is starting to sample it to developers this month.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hot seller, Gary. I think you guys are going to sell a lot of those.
Yeah, I think so. Or Ed's going to sell a lot of those.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool update, and I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah.
And I'm on the list of the people that are supposed to be getting beta versions of the board, of course, with COVID, stuff of the borders delayed, as a few of us have discovered. I think David O'Connor, you've had some issues with that too. So
yeah.
Well, this is what I was thinking about the Gimme X, because as nice as it is, and as it's going to be, and even if the CoCo VGA, which I'm also a fan of, and we've got sound cards, we've got all these things that are great hardware additions to the CoCo. The challenge is getting support for them or getting development for it. But where I see the Gimme X, especially getting into your foreign little hands, is that if you start doing Nitrous 9 drivers for it, Now, even some dipshit like me can now write a program in Basic 09 that could be a GimmyX enabled thing, and I don't have to know how to talk to its registers because you can just write a driver for it. So to kind of GimmyXify Nitrous 9 would be a really cool thing, because now there's existing software that can take advantage of these resolutions. There's hopefully extensions you can add to Basic to enable these new modes and colors and stuff. So I think that would probably be one of the fastest ways to start developing for this if the OS support's there and you don't have to write, hand code all the routines to talk to this new hardware,
More speed too.
Yeah, that is the plan. We're going to be supporting a couple things fairly quick off the bat once we have them here to test. There's a few things we have to change software timings on, like MIDI ports and floppy drive controllers and stuff. We'll need timing changes for the speed increase. But we plan on supporting the speed increase. We plan on supporting this extended 512 color palette, and then eventually starting into the modes and stuff too. There's a few modes we'll probably be doing off the start because they're easier to do, and then we have to figure out some ways using his new DMA style thingy to do the higher modes, because they can't fit the whole screen in memory at once. So you have to kind of bounce around or use his DMA streaming thingy. So Bill and I will start playing that as soon as we get them in our grubby little hands.
Are there higher hardware text modes like 80 by 50 or anything like that?
Not yet. It sounds like that there was a timing issue. They didn't have that ready.
Okay.
I know Bill's got drivers for the Matchbox already done and working and tested for that. So if they, as soon as they support it, it'll be a pretty quick port, like maybe a day or two.
Okay.
But yeah, that's planned. The first thing we're going to try to get going is the 3 megahertz mode, the 2.86 megahertz.
That's now, just out of curiosity, I know one of the things you've been doing with G Shell for optimizational reasons, you're doing a lower resolution in a 4-color mode. Is there a possibility that we could have a multicolored G Shell that would still have decent frame rates?
Well, once again, it comes to the fact when you start getting the really high color modes, you're starting to use more memory than you can fit to the 6809 viewable at once. So you have to split your screen and bring in chunks of it and write to that part. Which if you're just dumping a picture, that's easy. If you're trying to draw a circle and it's going to extend between 3 or 4 map screens, you got to figure out, okay, I've stopped drawing here, I got to bring the next chunk, it's got to continue drawing over there.
So
that's why I have to find out how a streaming thing works.
Yeah, do you have to kind of MMU through the video screen at this point? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right now we get right now the way the graphics driver is set up is you can fit 32K of a screen in memory at once, which means you can fit a 320 by 200 16 color, 640 by 200 by 4 color.
That's 4 AK blocks that the MMU handles, right? So
which is why in CoVDG we will be supporting 160 by 200 by 256 probably fairly quickly, because that fits in 32K as well.
That would be cool for image viewing, right? For pretty GIFs and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be a little more low res. It'd be the same res as like Rescue and Fractalus or Cronus Rift or some of those. Rad Warrior on cartridge, I think that's another one. Even Gunstar, that's a lower res mode, like that's something like that would fit on there as well. I was hoping they would have the double vertical res, because I was going to try to support 320 by 400 by 4 and 640 by 400 by 2, because then you can do graphics on a fairly high res screen, giving you a lot of pixels to fiddle with. But that anything with the extended vertical, apparently they have not got working yet, because there's some timing changes you have to do between the VGA, and how do you do it with a regular RGB monitor, which this does support. I mean, you'd have to go into interlace mode basically to do that. What do you do if you have a composite plugged in, or this S video, because he's got those ports as well? Do you disable them in those cases, or do you interlace or do weird things?
I think anybody who has to worry about composite falls into the same category as the Amiga community. There's a bunch of douches. We don't care about them, right? So.
So yeah, there's a few things to take into consideration, but our first priority will be get 3 megahertz running,
right?
Because that just helps everybody right off the bat. The booting up of G Shell.
Yeah, nobody's going to be using composite on the GimmyX, right? Because it's RGB, right? It's VGA out.
Well, it's VGA, it's RGB, analog, and S video. Like, it's got multiple options. So if you have capture devices that are based on the older technology, they will still work.
But none of these enhanced modes are going to go over a composite output, are they?
Well, the enhanced color modes for sure will.
They will.
Yeah, if you have 512 color palette instead of a 64 color palette, there's no reason that won't work.
Oh, I guess because this is still on the motherboard. I'm thinking that everything's coming out of the ports that are on the GimmyX circuit board, but it's actually pumping it back into the CoCo motherboard. So the composite out that's already there is going to be able to see this.
I'm not sure exactly how that works if it's separate cabling. I haven't got mine yet. Has anybody here got one yet?
Yeah, I have mine hooked up.
And
I
so
have
it
mine
does.
hooked up, and it does work that way.
Okay, yeah. I guess
Okay.
my brain's not following the circuit logic here, but yeah, I guess that would make sense if it's
Actually, Paul, if you have one, you want to give a quick review since none of the rest of us do. what you've seen so far?
So far, it's been awesome. So it does output the same signal out through the VGA. It does the same through the RGB port, and it looks like it's doing the same out through the composite as well. I was doing some we were doing some live demo of it when we were doing some GameON stuff. I think it was with Downland 2 weeks ago, and we were playing around with the different outputs to see what they look like. The composite was a little oversaturated, and the RGB was a little undersaturated, but cleaning up with filters through OBS, it looks pretty good. That's what what you're seeing right now behind me, Timberman playing, that's through the Gimme X, and that's through the RGB output right there. So I just tune that a little bit, and it looks good. But overall, I haven't done anything Gimme X specific with it yet.
Have you tried the semi-graphics higher modes that was supposed to fix?
So I only tried what I believe is already well known, the issues that are already well known with like the Protectors 2 and the Guardian and that sort of stuff. And it's not working. I mean, it works to some degree better than it did on the original Gimme, but some things just flat out aren't working. And at some point, I intend to put some time into that to see if can figure out what it is exactly that's some of the games that aren't working, maybe like Rampage and stuff like that. Do some investigative work into those. Put them on a logic probe and see if you can figure out where. Not a logic probe, a logic analyzer, to see if you can figure out where those things are actually breaking.
Is there a lot of things that are breaking at this point, or is it just a few?
No, just a few. I mean, and I think, like I said, there's a Discord channel dedicated to Gimme X testing at the moment. I think that's the only place right now where folks are putting feedback. I think I've sent a couple emails to Ed. I've yet to hear back, but I think so far, that's been the primary mode of collaboration for folks to stay on the same page as to what they're testing. But I haven't found anything really other than what's already been discussed that doesn't work. The Rampage is one of them, and the semi-graphic stuff.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that the other higher semi-graphics mode games, of which there's a couple dozen that Stevie and I have shown before too. I'm assuming all those are working. It's just the oddball ones that did mixed text and graphics using subparts of each scan line, like Protectors 2, and then Guardian uses that weird overscan mode.
Yeah, it's like 48 scan lines. I'm not sure
bytes
what
per scan line.
48 bytes per scan line. Yeah.
Okay, so if the regular semi-graphics works, I mean that's a huge improvement because Nick Morendi's came up with that little poke you can do on the Gimme to fool it to kind of fake semi-graphics, but you can't do any text at all. And from the sounds of it, I think the Gimme X will handle all the regular text just fine. It's only if you start doing the mixed mode stuff, or mixing the characters.
Has anybody tried like Audio Spectrum Analyzer? That's a perfect one to try. That's semi-graphics with text, or like PackTack or something like that. Those are.
I haven't tried those yet, Stevie, but definitely put them on my list. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I believe Ed had said that he tried a couple of those, and those are working.
Okay.
So.
I have an update regarding the Gimme X and PAL CoCo 3s as well. As we know, I think I mentioned last week that I hadn't been in touch with Ed yet, but I had an idea maybe that Ed and I could exchange a couple of motherboards from our CoCo 3s. I've got two PAL CoCo 3s here. Neither of them will work with the Gimme X at the moment because of physical constraints, because it just physically won't fit. So I got in touch with Ed during the week and sent him an email and said, look, what do you think of the idea if we just take the motherboards out of our CoCo 3s? I give you a PAL motherboard that you can work on and develop a PAL version of the Gimme X. And in exchange, you'll give me an NTSC board that I can have with an existing Gimme X and do further testing and work as part of the beta team and for testing things and see how it goes. So I haven't yet heard back from Ed yet, but I mean, regarding the fine details, I have heard back from him. He said, yeah, great idea, let's do it. So he's all for it. So we're going to do it. We've just got to organize the logistics at the moment.
Just out of curiosity, David, you kind of look like you're at Mission Control SpaceX there too. How's the launch status from your end?
everything was a go for launch here, right from the word go. All the modules are working properly, the real-time clock's working properly. It's everything was go here, and it's all been controlled from a CoCo 3. So the dragon, the dragon and CoCo, they're all related together. So yeah.
Excellent.
Yep. We're definitely looking forward to it. I mean, we'll be able to support some stuff out of the gate fairly quickly, and then some other stuff is going to take some planning.
Kind of good to see Gary Becker again too, because I don't think he's as connected to people online. So there's people we can see on Discord and on Facebook a little more frequently. Gary is the guy I typically only see once a year at CoCo Fest, so I didn't get a chance to see him this year. So it was good to see him.
And I heard at one time that somebody was saying he was in ill health, and he seems to be okay here. So hopefully he's recovered from whatever was ailing.
Good to see him.
Okay, next up, Jason, I'm going to skip one story and save that one for last, just because I have to switch between apps to do a full throw of that. So next we'll come up with this one. Some bald guy named Stevie, I think, did a video here.
I just want to go on record once again. I've been saying this for years. The MC10 is incredible. It's an amazing machine. It's fantastic. There's incredible people working for it. Jim Gary, amazing man, doing fantastic work. MC10 all the way.
Can we fact check that?
I think we're going to get a Twitter warning on that. And
we've just been flagged by YouTube for fact check.
Yeah, fake news. So,
yeah, it's a little small board.
Yeah, that's the MCX 128. I've had my MC10s and all my upgrades for many years, and I've been threatening to do something with them. And since I've gotten more familiar with the Pi drive wire, which also supported MC, I thought, well, let me finally put all these pieces together and see if I can get, for lack of better words, drive wire working on the MC10, and it works. Speaking of mission control, you can see my control board back there in the background. So neat stuff. So yeah, I bought mine many years ago, and it's all good. So
I was going to ask you this because I'm not familiar with the MCX. What's the difference between MCS Basic and MCX Basic Large?
The amount of RAM available in Basic. So you get like 48K. One of them gives you like 32K. The other one gives you like 48K available RAM. That's
with the extended basic commands enabled.
Yes, with the extended basic commands. And the 48K is obviously more desirable, but there would be certain programs that might not be compatible with it as far as how they're reading memory. So in the docs, he kind of mentions that certain software might require you to do the small RAM mode versus the big RAM mode. So it's if you're doing new software, you want as much RAM as possible, but for compatibility reasons, they've got a medium mode,
Okay, and how smooth is the MC server stuff? Does that work quite well?
Yeah. If you scroll down towards the end, you'll kind of see it right around. Yeah, if you go back just a little bit. Yeah, right. Yeah, see right there.
There.
Yeah, so you just kind of pull up dir. You can get a list of what's in your folder, and then you can load things. So this is like using Disk Basic on your MC10.
Wow, look at that animation.
That is great. Yeah,
isn't that amazing?
It is. MC10.
So happy they're dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, great! Now I'm hungry.
Commercials.
Yeah, right.
So
skip it.
MC10 fact check on the Discord. How do you bring up the MC10 icon?
That would be : doorstop :
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Stevie's love runs hot and cold.
It does.
Yeah. Now my last question on the my last question for Stevie on the MC10 is how do you find the keyboard for typing?
It's incredible. It's fantastic. It's amazing.
That bad, huh?
I just saw the Twitter fact check flag come up again here.
It was bigly successful.
Bigly successful. It's huge. The keyboard.
I think you meant amazingly horrible.
So I had promised Mikey that I would do this as I'm further trying to learn Pi drive wire. This was on my list to do, but part of it was me finding where I'd tucked away my MC10s. They were in a box in my garage somewhere. So, and part of me learning Pi drive wire is to learn it without asking people for help and just seeing if I can read the documentation, figure it out based on the documentation, and I was able to do that. So,
that means my documentation is worth something.
Yeah,
it's passing the Stevie test.
That was it.
Yeah, that was one of my criteria for the ease of use documentation too. And then I actually sent it off to John Schaller then too, because he's new to the CoCo period. I mean, Stevie does have a fairly good base knowledge of the CoCo, maybe not OS9, but he helped the last revision I just did here last week too. That's been updated too for rank beginners. Well, I was going to ask you too. What's the extension C10 supposed to stand for? Because I know you have some basic programs and some assembly with the same.
They're cassette. I think it's a cassette file.
It is.
So
it's exactly the same as the CoCo cassette file. The actual formatting is exactly the same. I don't know really. I think they just wanted you change the extension just so that you know that particular cassette is for MC10 versus CoCo.
Yeah, because usually it's called
the basic
files, right?
tokens are not compatible. Exactly, not all of them are exactly the same in between MC Basic and CoCo Basic. So
it's kind of like the dragons are different than the CoCos too, then.
Right. You can actually load the cassette file into any of them because the actual sounds, the actual bits and bytes, the formatting of the data on the cassette is the same, but if you're using a different basic tokenizer, it's not going to recognize it.
Okay. Now, does the MC10 have ASCII mode for transferring back and forth?
It does not.
Oh, really?
I think there may be something in MCX Basic, but I'm a little rusty on that.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if they'd fix that in MCX.
Here's the cool thing about MCX Basic, similar to DriveWire. Let's say you want to start writing software and typing in software on your MC10, but how do you save it? Are you literally going to plug in cassettes and save things to freaking cassettes? I would hope that answer would be no. So you set up an MC server and you boot up with your MCX Basic, you can now save to disk. You can do a save M, a save or save M, and save your file to the mounted folder that you have in your server. So you can now you can work on your MC10 and save software to your PC, which to me, that makes perfect sense. I would not want to save crap out to tape or save it to a WAV file somewhere else. It just doesn't make sense to me. So it's pretty cool. And it's just something that I had not done, and now it's done. History has been made.
Yeah, and I'm hoping if the MCX Basic supports the ASCII save, you could actually have a program you wrote years ago on the CoCo that uses some extended basic low res or medium res mode, then transferred over to.
It's definitely there's really good documentation on the MCX Wares site from Darren Atkins, and I pulled those up, and I don't have them all committed to memory, but there's a link to that MCX Wares site in that video, so that'll take you straight to the project page from Darren, and you can get not only the basic documentation that tells you all the commands to do stuff in basic, and I also referenced the MC server documentation to kind of understand some of the back end part of it too. Between those two docs and Mikey's doc, I was able to figure all of this out. And that was kind of my goal, because I had 100 people that said, let me help you, I'll help you. And that's great, but I want to figure it out, and I was able to figure it out. That was part of the fun.
Plus, that's the way you helped beta test the documentation.
Yeah, that was part of my promise to Mikey too, is that, listen, I'm the idiot abroad. So if I can do it, any idiot can do it. So.
And that's why, sometimes I feel like I'm mean to some of you guys in like the, our little bit closer community. I say, can you please read the documentation and please give me feedback on how that went for you. I want you to help me improve the documentation. So basically, if Stevie did it, then that means that I wrote it well enough for Stevie to understand. And
I'm thinking, there might have been one thing that I had to extrapolate on my own, Mikey, and that was on the MC side. You mentioned the set path, I think it was called, or set dir.
Yeah.
And trying to type that command into the PyDriveWire terminal window, it would not take that command, but the error message it gave me, it said type in MC space help. And then when I typed in MC space help, I realized there was a whole bunch of commands that started with MC for MC10. So I think it was MC space set path space path. But I don't think the MC commands were in the documentation. So I had to, based on what I read, I stumbled across what I needed to know from the built-in help of the DriveWire server. But I don't think those were actually in the document. But so for your feedback there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah.
So are you planning on doing any follow-ups on this, Stevie, too? At some point?
Yes. And because MC does not support, the PyDriveWire version of MC doesn't support a few things, I'm going to wait. on that, or maybe run the other MC server off of my Cocoa Pi or something. But right now it was a proof of concept, and I know I can do it. So now I want to figure out a way to organize a library, because there's so much software, thanks to Jim Gary and a few others. How to figure out a folder structure for the library, and then just they're in a hodgepodge of formats. Some of them are in WAV format, some of them are in that C10 format, some of them are in these CAS formats. So it's a mixed match of how people are saving out the images to the software. Some of them are actually just bins, where you can actually do a load them to a bin. And I don't know that all the full gamut of formats are supported in the Pi DriveWire version of MC protocol just yet, but I know they will be there.
Yeah. So Wave CAS and C10 is definitely there because that's easy. Wave file support is partially there, even though in the documentation I say it's not really I say it's not there, but it actually is, and that's because I'm not sure if it's working, and you actually found a problem with that, so I'm looking into that problem right now. And bin file support, are there actually bin files available for the MC10? If you know where those are, please tell me, because I couldn't find any when I looked. And anyway,
well, Flagenbird and Pac-Man would be the equivalent of a bin file, wouldn't they? If you just saved them out in that format.
Well, they essentially are bin files that are packaged into those C10 files, but we're looking for an actual bin file on its own.
Like a raw.
Yeah, raw
right,
bin file.
Anything in the cassette format, whether it's CAS or C10, is completely supported.
Oh, so you're looking for something straight out of an assembler?
Yes, an actual .bin file that we can try to load over.
Was Lost Valley Pinball like that?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know about the tools that we had in the past, but the tools that we have right now to build software for the MC10, they actually produce like an S-record file, Motorola S-record file.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't even produce a bin file, and the reason why is because if you think about MCX Basic, there isn't such a thing as a bin file. It didn't have an operating system, so this is something new for MCX Basic, that the original MC server actually supports the bin file format that you have from the CoCo.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like Lost Valley Pinball was a Radio Shack.
It was a binary file.
ML binary game.
Yeah. So it is a binary. And I do the same thing for DW Term MC10. The assembler just creates an S record file, and the binary that produces gets put right into that gets converted into a cassette file, because MakeWave or something, I don't remember. I think I used bin to CAS or something like that is the tool that I use. Actually converts it to a cassette file. So if there are bin files for MC10, that's the reason why it's not currently there. But I do. If somebody is releasing stuff in a bin for the MC10, I do want to support it.
Yeah, it's in the documentation. So it's in the MCX Basic documentation that it does support the ability to do it. And so the original command in MCX Basic before this upgrade was cloadm, because that's how you had to load in that pinball game. So cloadm existed. But there was no CSaveM. They gave you no provision to save assembly language. I guess they couldn't imagine anybody assembling or creating assembly stuff on this machine. But there was a cloadm command to load a binary file from cassette. The extension has been loaded now to do a loadm from MC, which is like their DriveWire. And so now the question is can we find a native bin file that's not packaged in a DSK or C10 or CAS file format? And if they're out there, we'll get them, and I'll try them, and I'll give them the Mikey to try too. And so my next step is to start hoarding software and figuring out where I'm going to get it and how I'm going to kind of organize it.
Yeah, I look forward to working with you more, Stevie, to help improve the reliability and make sure.
Well, I'm a member of several. I'm a member of several communities, and most of them are pretty douchey. But working with you has been a true pleasure. So.
Oh, jeez.
No, is that a real compliment or not? I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, it has. That's also just.
I prefer to word it as underhanded sarcasm. I think
Mikey, it's real right now, Mikey, but it may not last. Like,
No, I'm just
tends to change.
I'm doing a call back to the Amigo guys. They were talking about how those other communities were douches.
It's like Stevie's, view of ukuleles. I think
yes,
is kind of
no, it is a pleasure working with you, and I like that you're making me learn how to fish. You're not giving me the fish, right? So teach a man the fish is what I'm trying to do right now, not have you feed me the fish. So.
Yeah, you didn't ask. You said you were going to do it, and I was busy this past week, and I didn't really have time to pay attention to what you were doing. And boom, you spit out a video. It's like, oh, it's work. This isn't working. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. Thank you, Stevie.
All right.
Hey, next up,
Carlos Camacho.
Carlos Camacho is compiling a list of every possible model number for all the CoCos. So if anyone has one that's not on his list yet, you want to send it to him on Facebook here, and he's got the list here. If this shows up okay. I didn't realize there was this many model numbers.
Wow. What's the serial number?
Well, I know one he doesn't have, and I think is it Mark B that has it? 26-3135. Don't remember who has that.
Was that the one with the composite built in?
Yeah.
But that was the educational models, huh?
Educational one, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have that one.
Yeah, somebody in the group has that one. I don't remember who it is.
We don't need no education. All right. So. And the role of soundboard today is played by Stevie Stroh.
Poorly, but
poorly. We're sorry.
Next up, this was a rather cute one, Alan Huffman. I was hoping he was going to be on here to kind of explain this. He does this little program here that basically does random and actually spells the word CoCo Fest. So he said that's a hidden Easter egg. They knew about CoCo Fest 40 years ago when I wrote Basic. And you look at the code, and yeah, it's using random, type thing. But then he actually explains how the whole trick works. And this is, part of Microsoft Basic because it's not really random. So you can kind of like fiddle it to do anything you want it to do, really. And he, shows the original video that did it on the C64 using the same technique, because that was also a Microsoft design Basic, to get them to spell certain things. It goes through the whole explanation of how that works. And I was hoping he'd be on because I didn't get a chance to fully read it and comprehend it. But maybe we'll get him on next week. He can kind of go through it.
Curtis.
That looks like a has to be read freshly after being properly caffeinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was going to have Alan explain it, so I can just sit back and have a beer instead.
The choice of the seed.
Alan Huffman doesn't need caffeine.
That's true. Alan Huffman is caffeine. So
he'd turn into a quivering fork of Jello if he had caffeine.
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, he does have caffeine. He has Jolt Colas whenever he can get them. So.
Yeah, it's the way that he's seeding it, because once you find the sequence of bytes in the pseudo-random sequence that's going to come out repeatably, you just pick your right starting point, and then it'll show whatever message you've kind of picked.
Yeah. And then the last one, if you've been following Eric Gavrelek, he's been doing this thing. Now, Display is a program that was written by a mathematician, a professor, I believe, actually, showing three-dimensional graphics that was done on the CoCo 1 and 2 back in a Hot Cocoa magazine. I remember I had this program. Actually, I used to fiddle with it quite a bit. You can design points, up to 26 of them, and then 26 lines between them in 3D space with X, Y, and Z/Z coordinates. And then you could rotate them on all three axes. You could zoom in and zoom out, move them left to right, up and down. And he's done a release here just, I think, last night or this morning, actually, where he's got the original version fixed up to run with disk.
Okay.
Other than that, it runs the same speed as the original did. Then he's got this new one where he's optimized it.
Okay.
He's even added a little bit of support for the 6309, though he said it's not as optimized as it could be. And then the CoCo 3 version, he is using a more modern assembler on, and he also has a special enter key thing, which basically just means it doesn't redraw, it doesn't clear the screen first, it just redraws over top, so it kind of gives a neat effect. But I was going to show you guys the difference in speed between them here.
Okay.
Now, is there a way to change my share? Do I have to stop and then reshare to switch apps?
Maybe if you drop down under shares, you can maybe pick something else. And just want to remind you to remind me when you're done. There was two more things I wanted to add to the whole MC10 thing before we move on to something else.
Well, if you want to do it right now, because I don't see anything here for me to let me switch, so I'll stop sharing. You can
Okay. Okay.
Say whatever you want to say, and then I'll share the other screen.
So yeah, and again, I'm not an expert. This is all new to me, so I'm just sharing with you like I'm the kid who just found out about this kind of stuff. But so the original MC10, right? The stock configuration was 4K. Tandy sold a 16K add-on where you could go up to 20K. But for whatever reason, how they designed it, the video memory all worked in the onboard 4K that's on the motherboard, and so by adding external RAM you could not get more video RAM, so you were limited to basically a 3K graphics screen on the MC10. Now people have done hardware hacks where they've upgraded the internal RAM to 8K. You've seen some things like that. You've showed some videos from that. And when I was reading the article on Darren's thing, the MCX Wares, he was saying that, but when you do that, that creates a problem with the MCX 128, but he showed how to fix it. One of the pins has to go to ground or something like that. The advantage of having 8K on board on the MC10 is we could now get a 6K P Mode 4 type screen. And so it is possible. And with a slight change to that modification, you could then add the MCX 128 on top of that. So you could have a single page of a PMade 4 screen plus all the extra bonus features. Now, because I don't know how to do any of these things, I sent a message to Ed Snyder on Discord saying, hey, listen, I'm going to get my MC10s out. I would love to have one of them with a composite mod. And would you also be able to do that onboard 8K upgrade like is in that blog where I could still use the MCX 128? He says, yeah, no problem. Just send it to me. So now that I have my 2 units out, I'm going to keep one stock with the RF out, but I'm going to send one to the Zipster to get composite mod and the onboard 8K, because there is some software written for the MC10 that does do high-res graphics. And I look forward to being able to play with that in one of my units too. So
I will add to that too. If he does another patch for MCX, I don't know if he has, but if you enable 8K for video, you can do the 6K, P Mode 4 or P Mode 3 screen. The other thing you can do is for P Mode 0, 1, and 2 is you'll have enough room to do page flipping.
More pages, yeah. True.
So you can actually do smooth animation where you draw it on the off-site version of the screen and then switch, so you'll get rid of flicker, etc. too. So.
Doorstop 10, Mikey calls it.
I thought you'd like that.
No,
Super doorstop.
I take offense to that. I've been saying for years the MC10 is an incredible machine. It's a fantastic product. Amazing things are being done with this machine.
My MC10's even better because it's my MC10 speaks French.
Oh, oui. Oh, you have the Alice?
I have the remember, I have the micro couleur.
Micro couleur.
Ordinateur couleur MC10.
Okay. All right, Curtis, what do you got for us?
Hey, the last one is just to show you that the Eric Gavrilek's display programs here, because I got VCC up and running.
Is his nickname on Facebook Mr. Happy?
It should be.
Mr. Nice Guy, right? So,
you guys seeing that?
I see it, yes.
Okay. So he's got 3 samples, and I think these actually came on the original Hot Cocoa. It's Diamond, which is the one he showed in the demos. He's got a cube, and he's got the word as a 2-dimensional thing, but you can flip it around in all 3 dimensions. So I probably won't show them all here, but display itself is the original, basically patch for disk. Display 2 is his optimized one. Display 3 is basically the same optimized with a couple extra features on the CoCo 3, which most doesn't do too much. I'm going to demonstrate here, so I won't demo that one because it's speed-wise the same. But I just want to show you the amount of optimizations he did. So let's switch over here. I'll run the original one first. You can see what the original Hot Cocoa version came out as.
And Simon Jonason's done a bunch of stuff like this too.
Yeah.
Are you doing this now, or is this doing it itself?
No, I'm doing it.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear my keyboard?
Yep.
Now this, you'll see the VCC is kind of botching the colors a little bit here, but.
Right, we shouldn't have
So
a
there's
white border.
Your Z now your X.
No, are now you doing this, or is it doing it on its own?
No, I'm doing this. You just hold down the keys.
Based on the keys you press, you rotate it on a different angle.
And you can shrink.
Wow.
And zoom, and if you move it over a little bit and then start rotating, it'll actually rotate around the center point you've created.
Oh wow! Now I would love to see. Cool. Is there a battle zone that does this? That has this high resolution that's already out there for the CoCo?
Rommel's Revenge, the Dragon one, actually uses this res.
Okay, this is just totally reminding me of Battle Zone right now. Totally. Yeah.
So anyway, that's what the original demo.
Almost looks like the Star of David right now. L'chaim. Okay, so.
So I will
And I
exit
didn't
that
mean- I
one.
didn't
And
mean
now
David
we'll run
O'Connor
display.
either.
Display 2. This is the one that Eric's been working on.
I missed that, Stevie.
And one bit of preamble here. I will mention that the original article by David Meredith in Hot Cocoa, he mentioned that he doesn't think it's possible to speed up his original routine by more than twice as fast.
Hold my
And
beer.
Eric took that as a direct challenge. of
Hold my
course.
beer. Right, so. Oh, wow. That is wicked fast.
The other thing you add is you can actually rotate it on several axes at once. Let's make that a little bit bigger here, and let's
That's what
do
she
Z
said.
and Y simultaneously.
Zen. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Crazy.
Holy crap. Hold on. Look at that. This is like screaming Simon Jonathan right now. We need this with the floating text and like 19 voice music in the background and naked boobies. And this would be a total.
Are you sure you're still at 1.79 megahertz?
1.79 megahertz. Great Scott.
What the hell?
You can actually do some pretty cool effects with this.
Yeah, you can. That is cool.
Imagine the
Attach
the
that.
GDX mode.
Attach that thing to a Falcon 9 rocket.
Yeah, look at that thing. That is wicked cool.
Spinning around
So
everywhere
what
except
CPU speed are you running?
I believe this one's actually the CoCo 1 and 2 version, so I think this is still 0.895. I'd have to
Yeah,
double check
so-
with Eric. But
Turn on the double clock and try it.
that's a good idea to try, assuming he's not doing that already. We'll have to find out. But
The cursor is not blinking too fast. Now it is.
is that any faster?
It's hard to tell. I don't know if it's frame locked or
Seems
not.
faster.
That's faster.
I think that it's not too shabby for a kilohertz machine, and even with a megahertz machine, yep, it's much faster.
It's super smooth too, because he's doing double buffering now, so you're not getting any flickers, right? Hey, Brian Weaser's out there. Hey, Brian. He says this reminds him of the Star Wars too, right? So yeah, a lot of vector games come to mind here. The 3D vectors. That is
So this is
insane.
So this is a
Your
CoCo
vector
1 and 2
Victor.
CoCo 1 and 2 program, but you're running it on CoCo 3 emulation, yeah?
Yeah. So we can pump some more speed into it.
So is this about? Can we get this and download it and play around with it?
You put it on Facebook.
Yeah, got a link on
okay,
Facebook.
Word
cool.
to your mother. Well, look at that. That's cool.
So next, I'm wondering when Curtis starts poking at it and starts 6309ing the heck out of it even further.
You'll have to have motion blur behind it.
Built-in surfaces.
I don't know what it's like to do this programmatically, but I would love to see a game start off with like this flipping text that's rotating and flipping all up in your face. That would be such a cool way to kick off the title screen for a game.
Yeah.
Right? No
The
pressure.
only one I've seen really do it is CC Space Trek by Spectral, because they have that galaxy far, far away thing kind of
Oh,
going.
and do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to
see?
see the view from space real quick over here on the NASA thing? They're showing that.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Does it involve a car?
It's got a road.
Worldwide network.
It's got a
of
car.
ground stations to communicate with the spacecraft.
Dodge some furniture.
Yeah,
You'll
just
be
real
a
quick, I
pop
want to
star.
correct myself now that I can
Space
see the
car.
image a little better. That's actually a live shot from the International Space Station.
Oh.
I thought it looked like a radiator.
Yeah, for a second I
Oh.
thought it was the Dragon trunk there, but nope,
Well,
that is the
I can see
ISS. So
Stevie's
that's
house
where
from
Bob
here.
and Doug are heading.
That's the-
and
oh,
like
Neo
we
likes
have been
it.
saying so far, this is just
Oh,
the
I can't even
beginning
see
of
it.
what
He's
is
got it one ahead of me.
19-hour
Neo.
journey for them.
Hey.
So they've got a lot of stuff.
Okay, I just saw the big blue marble down there. I thought it was coming
That's-
from
that's-
the thing. Yeah.
I'm not actually seeing what you're sharing this.
Oh, because
it's
I'm
on
not
the
sharing my
screen.
screen. Never mind. Sorry.
Oh, okay, right.
I can see it on the stream, but
Just
not here.
imagine outer space looking stuff up there. It was really good. It was excellent. It's fantastic. Incredible.
Hey, it's on my. I got it up on my Zoom window.
Man.
Okay, Mark.
Oh, yeah,
B's got
cool.
it there. Yeah. All right, Curtis. Sorry about that.
It looks flat to me.
That's okay. So that display program, like I said, you can download it from the link in Facebook that Eric put up, which has both versions on there. You can create your own. There's a little language if you type
What was
help.
the thing about the third version? You said it was not wiping the screen or something? Can
Yeah,
you,
basically leaves the trail behind.
Can you show that? Just so I know what you're saying, but I'd like to see it. I like trails anyways. So instead of doing the double buffering, it's just leaving screen pollution as it moves around.
Yeah, it's to me, it honestly wasn't that impressive. But
okay.
Steve's having flashbacks.
Having flashbacks. Unrecognized.
Oh, I'm still inside their own language. The language itself is actually pretty easy to use. You define points based on the 3 coordinates, X, Y, and Z. And you define up to 26, and then you just type in lines. So you define your points A through Z. And then you want a line between A, B, and D, F, or whatever, and you design that, and then you display it, and then you can run all those rotations and zooms and stuff on whatever shape you make.
So any of the other images you can now load up. Okay, so you're turning off the page flipping. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's got a cool effect to it as well, though.
That's trippy. Yeah.
Totally trippy.
A little bit of a spirograph kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering what the Madman will do with this too.
Exactly. Well,
he's
done
like
stuff
point
like this.
data, line data. This sounds like note data, but in a different
Simon's
application.
Simon's done some demos like this already.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's cool.
And both of them are really good programmers. So, I mean, depending on how much. I mean, Eric has said it's not as optimized as it could be yet. And he actually, I think he's planning on issuing a challenge if he hasn't already for some people to optimize certain routines that he hasn't touched yet.
Okay. Very cool.
And that's
Curtis,
the news.
It's time for you to optimize.
I've got enough things on my plate. Thank you very much.
Dr. Dre, it's time to optimize. All right, so that's cool. Very, very cool. So that concludes news with L. Curtis Boyle. How about we take another break and we'll be back for everyone's favorite part of the show where we talk about project updates and acquisitions. What do we want to, what commercial, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to run our little community, whatever things, the stuff that everybody needs to know. We're going to run that clip. So if you got to drain the main vein, now's the time. We'll be back in a couple.
Hi, this is Eddie Zerbinski from beautiful Quebec City. Vous écoutez CoCoTALK.
As you're enjoying CoCoTALK, we also want to remind you about the CoCo Discord server. This is a place where people come to connect, to ask questions, to provide answers, to share information, and to socialize. So when you're done, why don't you head on over to the CoCo Discord server and we'll continue the conversation there. The easy to remember link is discord.cocotalk.live. See you on Discord. CoCo123 is the Glenside Color Computer Club community newsletter that's been in publication since 1985. While the Rainbow magazine may be gone, it doesn't mean you still can't have a cool CoCo periodical. Head on over to the Glenside Color Computer website at glensideccc.com and then click on the Documents link to view all the past issues of the CoCo123 newsletter. Not only can you read all of the past and present issues, we'd also love to hear some submissions from you. So if you'd like to send an article, a column, something to talk about, maybe even a program listing, send an email to glensideccc@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. The CoCo World Map is a cool community resource where you can view coconuts from around the world. Head on over to map.cocotalk.live and see where your fellow coconutians happen to be living on the planet Earth. If you would like to submit yourself to be on the CoCo Map, send an email to cocotalk@cocotalk.live, and we look forward to seeing you on the CoCo Map. Hey guys, it's Stevie Strode. If you've been watching CoCoTALK for a while, hopefully you understand that everyone is welcome to join this show. You don't need an impressive resume to get on. You just need to enjoy the CoCo and be willing to talk about it. There is no wrong way to CoCo. There is no wrong way to be a fan of the CoCo. There's no wrong way to be on CoCoTALK. You just have to want to talk CoCo. So if you would like to join us, then reach out to us on our Discord server, which is discord.cocotalk.live, or send an email to cocotalk@cocotalk.live, and let's get you on the show and let's talk about the CoCo.
Hi, I'm Tim, and you're watching CoCoTALK Live. And I'm playing Daggereth online like that idiot from the book.
Can you dial back on the condescension there as you respond there? Oh,
that's an Oscar moment right there.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
For your consideration.
Well, this is everyone's favorite part of the show where we talk about project updates and acquisitions and we blow out all kinds of hot air. I know we had Jason, the Coco Man Reichert, had said he had an update, and I think Mr. Dave 6009 had an update. I was just going to show off my MC10 as well when the time is right. So, Jason, the Coco Man, you have the spotlight, sir.
Oh, the spotlight it is. I have a couple things. It's not all that exciting, the first one here, but last week it had mentioned up, someone on the program had mentioned some things that boxes. So I have a whole bunch of Coco-sized boxes. I know it's just a bunch of cardboard wrapped in plastic, but
yeah, it was Brian
the
Weasler,
Coco-sized boxes. Brian Weasler mentioned on the show.
Yeah.
I believe Boise Pete also mentioned that's what he's using. So I did order those from Amazon. Boy, that's really messing with the camera, that reflection. But I got those. I don't know what I'm going to do with 25 of them or not, but I also have my Mark. Since Mark's not on camera today, I got my Mark Overhoser style visor, the Harbor Freight edition. No expense has been spared. I think it was like $4.
You look like a scary evil doctor.
Yeah, that's before coupon. And there was a 20% off coupon, I think, and I got like a little free flashlight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, Mark Overhoser has a nice one. This is, like I said, this is the cheapy Harbor Freight edition. But
cheapy ones are way better than none at all. Trust me.
You know what? I have several of them, and they come in handy from time to time. And nothing else, they're good. They're good photo op. But and then the other thing I did. This is not exactly Coco related, but it could be. I went ahead and I purchased a Hako solder sucker. So
nice.
So
does it suck?
It's a Hako FR301. Yes, it does suck. And yeah, I was asked, well, how's that new thing you bought? I said, it sucks.
So it's not just a clever name.
No, but I have to practice some, but it's pretty cool. It comes with a nice carrying case here.
Wow.
And then
so you can carry the suck wherever you go.
Right, and then I also I believe Mr. David. This was recommended to me by several people, some of them on our Discord server and in our group, and among others, is a great desoldering tool, and that's something I'm going to have to get good with. But it's definitely I played around with a little bit. It's a nice equipment. It's worth every penny. It is.
You have no burn marks. No burn marks in your private area, right?
So they're Japanese made, aren't they? The Hako, are they Japanese made still? Or?
I'd have to look.
Always used to be Japanese, so
it is a Japanese company. It did come from it did come from Hako USA. So I'd have to look and see where it was made. And then also there's and I use my iron that I use already is an older Hako iron. It's it's a 936. I don't make those anymore, but it's a really nice iron. And then recommended by David Ladd was the Hako 633 stand for this.
Yeah, nice.
It comes with a great little portable stand, which is great if I'm portable work, but it's just a little piece of metal, and you kind of have to lay it down on the side.
Yeah.
So this will allow me to just kind of put it right down in here, and that'll be nice
station.
And nice and docked.
It's a nice holster.
And it's got the brass cleaner in the bottom there.
Oh yeah, brass cleaner. Yeah, that's a Hako. What is it? 599B. You can buy just a 599B. I have another one over there with my iron. They're like, I don't know. They're like $7 or $8 on Amazon just for that cleaner, and they're really nice. I have these. We use these at work also. So when I saw one on Amazon, I grabbed it. But, not exactly Coco related, but I think at some point it will
could be.
It is if you're taking 6809s out of motherboards.
Yeah. CoCoMan.biz does CPU replacements now, right?
I was going to ask if you're getting up to that.
Well, maybe at some point I've done. I was using a method without being able to use a solder sucker, and I've done stuff my own and one for my brother, and then I did have a special request from someone to do one at the beginning this year, which I did. But We'll see. Maybe someday. It's I gotta get good with it first. I'm not gonna tear into anybody's machine with one of these quite yet.
This is the way you will be converted.
Oh, it's great. So what I've seen so far, I have like a scrap PC board I've been kind of just working with, and it.
Just don't let that little filter disc plug up, because then you will start burning things.
Yeah, and I did. One of the other things I did order is a whole nother pack of filters. So.
All right, there you go. Yeah.
I think it came with 3. I got some more. These just arrived today. It's been kind of arriving in waves over this week, but this part, the important part, showed up first.
Yeah, you just reminded me. I've got to order some more for mine. Actually, those filters, I'm starting to run short on them.
Yeah, I'm sure yours has a different plug on it, though.
Yes. It's got the Australian smiley face.
I wonder if yours, because yours would be running off more voltage. I wonder if yours is, I don't know. Because this is 120 volts. Yeah, 120 volts, 140 watts at 60 hertz. Yes, made in Japan. It does say right on there, made in Japan. I guess I could have just looked. I guess I could have just looked at it right here. Where it says, yeah, made in Japan. That couldn't be more obvious.
No, that's good to know. Yeah, good to know. They're always HECO have always been highly regarded in the electronics industry.
Right, and we use a lot of their stuff at, I do work in the electronics industry, and we use a lot of their stuff at work, and it seems to have held up really well. And the other thing is, the cost of this, I could buy one for way less, but from what I've heard, it's like, if you're going to buy 2 or 3 of the cheap ones, you might as well just buy the good one. I mean, there are ones that are more expensive, but I think for what I'm going to do, this will be fine. That's all
HECO
I
and
have.
Weller and HECO were the 2 of the most highly recommended names in, they're like Sidchrome in the automotive world.
Yeah, it could be. I don't recommend a Radio Shack iron. I will say that. That's all I got, Stevie.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Jason. I believe Mr. Dave 6809 has something.
Hey there, how are you?
Good.
So yeah, after about 6 months, I was finally able to get myself a CoCo 3.
Yay!
I wasn't able to intercept it at the border, so it did actually get to him.
So let me see.
Take care, Marco.
Picture.
Okay.
There we go. Can you see it?
Yes, it's a beauty.
Wow. Okay. So here's the hardware I got. I got a nice CoCo 3 128K deluxe joystick.
Love that monitor door.
Oh yeah, monitor with the door.
That's how you know it's fake. It's photoshopped it.
Got a nice monitor, multi-pack interface. The disk drive runs smooth like a Cadillac. I was really surprised.
Nice.
Really.
Yes, baby.
It's the first time I put in a floppy disk in about 20 years, so I was impressed.
Cool.
Mr. Dave Ladd 6809.
And even more impressed is...
So taking that multi-pack works with the CoCo 3 all right then.
Now here's the swag I got with it.
Oh my God.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. You got a table full of goodies.
On the left, we got 24 issues of Rainbow magazine.
Wow.
Which are really thick. Lots of OS 9 stuff, very incredible. Lots of games, books, all the documentation for the joystick, for the monitor, you name it. There's an original Puyan cassette with the book. I've got Rampage, Robocop, Malcolm Mortar, Sexter, Math Bingo, Tetris, I'm sending off to a buddy. And there's 70 floppy disks, including a lot of Rainbow on disk.
Wow. And the floppy disk filer there, too, with the flip top.
Yeah. It's
You'll
a
have
pretty
to
good
check
CoCo
the
3
archive.
starter kit.
Yeah.
You have to check the archive to see if you have any missing Rainbow on discs.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there. I was...
Yeah, if you can upload any missing ones to the archive, that'd be great.
Okay. Let's see what we're missing.
What was that
Yeah.
beige device underneath the floppy disk carrier?
Device under the floppy disk carrier. I'll have to look at that in a second.
Okay.
So I never had this monitor, and I was really impressed with it.
CM8, yeah. That is
Yeah,
nice.
the holy
When I
grail
opened up
of
the
the monitors.
Yeah, if you've only ever ran composite RF, RGB is like night and day.
Absolutely. So he's
Here was
bringing,
a surprise.
he's bringing back
When I
the
opened
picture.
up the CoCo,
Okay. 68B09.
Socketed, yeah.
Zip socket.
That's a ZIF socket.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah, nice.
Wow.
That's cool.
You got it easy, man.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's already a 6309. That took like
So that was an
1
aftermarket
minute.
upgrade, though, right?
Yeah, it was done by some kind of tech shop. They actually put a sticker and re-extended the guarantee.
Oh wow!
And
Oh,
they put a zero insertion force socket, so I can swap CPUs. So basically, I can swap hot swap cartridges all day, and I can just keep changing
No,
the
you
CPU.
can't.
Just popping a new one now and then, and that's good.
Just have to swap the CPU.
I can fry my CPU.
Yeah,
I don't care.
What you do is you just press Shift at to pause it. Then you lift up the bar,
Got a
pull
hole
out
in
the
the
CPU, put it back in there.
Do not
right? So-
attempt this at home.
Not actual advice.
Gimme
Do
also
not
had
attempt it at all.
the Gimme also had the locking mechanism on it.
Yeah, they ran away after a few months.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that keyboard. That's sexy.
What the heck?
It's Mr. Dave, man.
Here comes Sid.
So here, here it goes. I already lined up for it. It's not
That's a really
installed
cool
yet. I was
keyboard.
just testing the waters.
That's neat.
What else we got? Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. What else we got? Okay, acquisitions. You want to see some non-CoCo acquisitions?
Sure.
Here's
Ooh.
some Arabic MSX I got from Egypt.
Wow. 2 cartridge slots, too. It's like a multi-pack. Is that the one you posted the picture in Stream of Consciousness where you were having it print on the screen, Mr. Dave 6809?
Oh, it's possible.
Okay.
If at first it boots up in Arabic, but if you hold down the control button, it'll go right to basic and it'll boot in English.
I'd like to see a screenshot of what booting to Arabic looks like. It's hard to imagine. Is it everything written backwards?
Yes, from right to left.
From right to left, right? So.
I could pull that up in a minute. What else? So that's my MSX I got. I also got a nice little Atari.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice keyboard.
I remember those.
And you can put a 6809 in that.
That's right.
That's right. A
Give it a
Liberate
try.
09.
Here is, what is this? Oh, this was the test screen of the Atari. It would play music and do little video.
Oh, neat.
Oh. Looks like the same screen as the Radio Shack demo has in it when it plays music. Comes up with a little thing with a stave with notes on it like that.
What else we got for you?
Mr. Dave's been busy buying things up.
Cool things too.
Yeah.
Here's something fun. I got DOSBox working on my CoCo / Raz.
I like that black case.
Yeah, we start to lose your audio when you screen share, like it's killing the bandwidth.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that black case, CoCo. So so Mr. Dave is doing things with the CoCo and the Raspberry Pi that I don't think anybody has done before. Who else is doing that now? Is it Frank Hogg that's doing stuff in the? Okay, look, there's the Arabic. Look at that. That is really cool.
Wow.
Huh.
I was pretty happy with that machine. right away it just plugged it in, and it booted up, and I didn't have any trouble with it at all.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have an
And that's the
MSX.
MSX one that is Microsoft Basic, but that was a standard that they were putting together to go across all kinds of micros. Or is that a different thing?
No, that's what MSX is. It's a platform.
No, I mean that Arabic one is an MSX machine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a Sanyo based machine.
Okay. Are we seeing live video right now, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my CoCo.
All right, that's Dave's CoCo with the RGB keyboard and Raspberry
cool.
Pi and all kinds of stuff going on there.
I taught it to do something pretty cool. I can do picture-in-picture, where it will switch to. Let's see, I'll zoom in here.
Locutus of CoCo.
Oh, look at
There
that.
we go. So we have the CoCo over here.
Can we spotlight David?
Oh, yeah, let me spotlight you, David. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Because you weren't videoing before. I couldn't do that before. Okay.
Ah, there we are.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see the CoCo over here, and you can see the Raspberry Pi image.
Yeah. Who needs a Gimme X when you have Mr. Dave? Look at that.
I can also minimize the screen,
Resize
the
it.
CoCo, or I can, I can scoot it around.
So
different
could you have
places.
it like full screen center, so like the CoCo's got like a wallpaper behind it or something?
Yeah, I could work with the CoCo right there in the middle.
That'd be kind of cool. Have your CoCo center, and then have like the image behind there, kind of like a wallpaper, kind of like the marquees you have in MAME and stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Or a video.
Yeah, live video.
I can size the CoCo. Where is it? Remember which key it is. Let's go larger. Can send it in the middle. So right there. So yeah, you can do your CoCo stuff, whatever you want.
Hey, Dave, how long does it
Yes.
take the Raspberry Pi for the keyboard to boot up so the CoCo is actually taking input?
If I bothered to turn the Raspberry Pi off, it doesn't take very long. I had it going directly there. So it's a little bit slow switching between video modes at the moment. That's my only problem.
And now we're back on the CoCo.
Yeah. And I can
That
add some
keyboard
color
is
to
just
it.
so cool.
It is.
Yeah. That was the inspiration for this project, was
Making that keyboard
Looks
work
like-
on a CoCo.
It looks like a Darth Vader.
Yeah.
CoCo.
and here's my prototype video card.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got my own VGA.
Oh, cool.
And it's using a composite to VGA converter. That gives me all the picture-in-picture functions.
Oh, so you're doing your CoCo through there to the composite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can pull up like a command menu. So I can say image 1. So I'm on CoCo. I'll hit image 1, and it's gonna wipe over, and it'll give me. So it
Ah.
uses Raspberry Pi for stuff that is harder for the CoCo to do, like obviously 16 million colors. And then she'll switch right back to the CoCo.
Wow.
It's a
So
cool
I can hit
setup.
my Alt key, and it gives me any of the. This is a current list of the commands I can use.
I like that you called your MIDI function Korg. That was one of my earlier MIDI keyboard chips I used. Web page.
And I still have my hotkeys. I can like just hit a hotkey.
Change your color mode, your colors.
Burn your fingers.
Oops. We don't see it very well in this video, but it's blue.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. Cool. You got more, or is that it?
I have one more thing I guess I could show.
Okay.
One last thing. This is a Potential project.
Potential project. Okay.
I'm thinking about putting a Raspberry Pi 4 right in the multi-pack interface.
Okay.
And so yeah, I don't need a CoCo 3. I could put a Raspberry Pi 4 in the multi-pack interface.
And make a CoCo 3.
Put a wire lift key CoCo. Yeah. So that's a project concept. Don't email me for one of these.
Okay. That is wild. Some weird, wild, wacky stuff there. Very cool, Mr. Dave. You're doing some cool stuff with the Raspberry Pi, augmenting the CoCo in ways that would take just all kinds of FPGAs and everything else.
Yeah, it's the best like $35 I ever spent.
Absolutely. Now, who else was doing something with the Raspberry Pi? Was it Frank Hogg was using the Raspberry Pi to like monitor CoCo ROMs or something like that, or I forgot who it was in the CoCo Pi group on Facebook. Somebody is getting into the CoCo Pi or getting into Raspberry Pis to interface with the CoCo too. I think it was Frank Hogg.
Chris Burke. I don't
Chris
think
Burke.
Frank's
Chris
doing
Burke.
it.
Sorry, Chris Burke. Yeah. So Chris Burke is doing something like that now too. So that's kind of neat that people are doing that. And speaking of Raspberry Pis, I'll just throw out there that we're going to have a nice announcement next week about the Raspberry Pi CoCo project. And I'll try to get Ron Klein on here to talk about that. So stay tuned for more CoCo Raspberry Pi stuff on next week's show. And David, how are we doing? Speaking of next week's show, how are we doing on your Moog friend? Are we lined up for that?
Yeah. Actually, interesting that you mentioned that because I don't think he's on Discord. I did ask him about that. He sent me an email with some information. But what I'm planning on doing is you and Curtis and I and Martin, I'll set up a private message on Facebook where we all four of us can touch base together.
Okay.
And plan things from there. I think that may be the best way to go. But as far as I know, it's all still a go ahead.
Yeah, because I know Curtis was hoping to get a little bit of a bio and stuff like that, some information so we can ask some intelligent
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I thought it'd be good for us all to touch base via private message or something like that. So I'll set that up later on today.
Okay. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to update or share with us?
I have two things I could mention.
Okay, Tim Lindner.
So MAME 221 that got released on May 19th has an additional functionality for image tool. I added Dragon DOS support so that you can import and export files from Dragon DOS disks.
Excellent.
Yeah, very helpful for the Dragon community. The other thing is I just posted a MCX 128 driver for MAME, and that should be seen in the next version.
Okay. And then, so that is going to, how does that tie into, well, the MCX 128, as far as the hardware functions, is it also going to support MC, like the DriveWire functionality?
Yes.
Okay. And how is that facilitated? Where is DriveWire, we're still running on your real PC and it's just talking to it through like a Becker port or something? Or
Yeah, I tested it with the Pi DriveWire's MC support. So
Okay.
it runs next to MAME on the same computer.
Okay, so you could run a DriveWire server on your real computer that's running MAME and feed CoCo's and MC10s now?
Yes.
And emulated MC10. Okay.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yep.
Very, very cool. And then you would not be subject to having to use the MC10 keyboard.
No, you could turn on the natural keyboard and
type
go
like
hog
normal people.
wild.
Yeah. But I do like the graphics keys that you can type in from that keyboard and inject them into like print statements and basic and stuff. That is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very neat, very neat. And so that's version 02. What's it called?
222. It should come out in 222 next month.
Okay. So we'll look forward to that. 222. All right. Anybody else have an update? Project update? Acquisition? Story to share? No? Polly Fiscarelli, were you getting ready to do something, or did your camera just happen to kick in? Any updates? You're muted. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you say.
No, I'm good. I was on mute. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. The Pink Floyd references will not stop today. I promise. So
There'll be an endless river of them.
Yes, my update was this: that I now have my MCX 128 connected to my MC10, and so that was kind of my project that I did this week, and it was kind of cool. And I'm looking at Ed Snyder's website right now on thezipsterzone.com, and MCX 128s are available right now for $40 with the 3D printed case. And I know when I posted this video to Facebook, a few people are asking, is the MCX 128 available? According to thezipsterzone.com right now, not only is that available, but he's also got MC10 composite mods. So if you need to get some Ed Snyder goodness for your MC10, it's there on the zipsterzone.com, so check that out. I'm now looking forward to getting some composite mods and some memory upgrades on one of my MC10s. Be like all the cool kids. Cool. What else? Anyone? Have we done it? Have we beat this show to death? Are we done? Are we out of things to talk about?
I guess I do have a little bit of a thing.
Okay, Rick.
I got my CoCo login going, so I can actually, let's see, can I actually share a screen? That would be a question.
We have the technology. If we can bring NASA to this program live, I'm pretty sure
Right?
you can share
We
a screen.
should be able to do this. Can I, let's see, share, I'll just share, and then if I bounce down here, did you follow me to an Ubuntu desktop?
We have a terminal window right now. Home Rick.
Okay, so let's run Minicom. And just kind of bang into Nitrous 9 here. And if I could type, I would log in with this totally bogus name and password. And so here my Ubuntu desktop is into
Nitrous
my
9 level 2. Look at that.
This reminds me of work back in the day.
And here you go with your Beta 5 boot. And then I do have, let's do an extended here. My very, very old floppy disk backup of H1, which I stuck into the thankfully provided H1 image. And so here's stuff from '96 that I never thought I would see again, running on an SD card in CoCo STC.
If you type PROC, it should list what windows are on which ports too.
Oh yeah, here we go.
So there you'll see Term is running the one main shell on his CoCo itself, and then T2 he's logged into with the other programs that he's running on the terminal.
Yeah, I've left an open console on the CoCo in case the serial port runs awry or something. I can recover myself. And then I'm getting my old programs running, so we can run Dynastar and sort of in the fullness of time, get the file and let's see, re-enter it. I'm having to remember all my old commands again. And yes, I have to remember the control key isn't where it's supposed to be next to the A, but it's way down here under the shift key so that I can move around. So basically I'm in pretty good shape. I've still got to fix the term command. You'll notice it's drawing slowly and difficultly. Everything it does is being done the hard way. So it writes the whole screen, every screen. I can fix all of that, but I'm starting to get my thing together here. So that's interesting. I've also redrawn all of this in a modern program, the FAST232 board and everything, just to kind of get my chops back up. So I've got modern net lists and things in place of my wonderfully hand-drawn on vellum drafting pen examples from before.
Wow.
So anyway, that's about where I'm at this week. I'm starting.
A quick question for you, Rick. Have you managed to find your latest 16550 drivers yet? Or are you still looking?
I have binaries from version 0 through version 16. I can't find. I think all I've got is from my shop machine. I had a big hard drive crash and I was trying to reconstruct it. And it seems like everything I've got is from the shop PC. So I've got lots and lots of binaries. I've got lots and lots of work stuff. I don't have any high level like disassemblies or anything really helpful.
I can make the disassemblies. I just wonder if you like the one you'd sent earlier, I think was 4 versions old. So if you have the latest one found, send it over.
I believe 12B is the latest nitrous version. Beyond that, what we've actually done was rip out things that weren't going to be in the final. So 16 is probably less than 12B.
Oh, okay.
But I'll zip it all together and get it to you so you can kind of figure it out for yourself, because you know much more than I about drivers.
Okay. Sounds good.
Neat.
And then I'm happy to help you get it working with Mega Mini MPI when you get to that point, when you get a disassembly that one can read and understand what's going on in it.
Yeah.
That was for Curtis.
Yeah, no, I've got a Mega Mini MPI too, so I was definitely planning on doing that.
Neat. Eric Canales says he just purchased the MC10 composite mod, so he was glad to know that they're out there. Yeah.
And also, I'll endorse it. It works really well, and it's not too bad to put in.
The composite
I think
mod?
the hardest thing is getting the modulator out.
Okay.
Someday I'll be able to get an MC10 when I can find one for a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just to do it completely off the out of the blue, Patrick, what camera are you using there? The image looks really, really good. Really good contrast ratio, good color.
Well, it's a Logitech, just a regular old camera, but I've got all of my eBay lights to backlight me with a nice even glow and accentuate the bump on the head.
Nice.
So forth.
It's paid off. It looks really even, really neat.
Yeah,
It looks like
it's super
it's
clear.
almost like broadcast camera.
Oh yeah, well we've got.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. That answers my question.
Yeah, broadcast lighting.
Yep.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
nice.
I have to shoot a lot of stuff to sell on eBay because that's my income now. So nice even lighting sells product.
Yep. No, cool.
Now,
That's good.
I could show what I use for lighting.
Yeah.
Just to hit the other end of the spectrum here. Are you ready?
Oh, no.
Point source.
What is it? I missed it. Oh.
It's an old lamp.
Ah, look at that.
A lamp on the wall.
It's an old lamp. I mean, I've also got, since it's during the day, I've got a window there that there's a lot of natural light coming in right now, but sometimes I need to supplement it. It's just this old lamp with an LED light bulb in it right now. I mean,
This old lamp
just sitting on top of a cardboard box above my screen. And it's
Welcome to everyone's favorite segment of the show. Show us your light.
Oh, then I've got this light.
Oh, look at that. That's like the
My
Pixar
work light.
You got your head.
Yeah, it's
You got your headlight.
Yeah,
You got a headlight, the one you're wearing.
There's actually. I took the lights
Oh,
out
I
of this.
put mine away.
I took the lights out of this.
Let me get this thing back out here.
Oh,
just
so
really
it's-
crappy little incandescent bulbs, but I use this lamp with a high luminance or a high lumens LED bulb. But this lamp is just from the lamp itself is from IKEA, but then I just put a higher bulb in it. What's he doing?
Mikey's just using his robot eye there. Hey, Mikey, speaking of using that that
It's a
solar,
Borg.
Yes.
have you made any progress on the Dragon serial cable? Because I am looking forward to trying Dragon Pi wire.
Oh, that's going to be a long story.
Okay.
Probably not appropriate for the middle of CoCoTALK.
Gee,
Okay.
I think we're out of time.
Yeah, that's all the time we
Yeah.
got. All right. See you next week.
I know better than even get started on that one.
Okay, is TTL involved at all? In any chance?
No.
Okay.
Oh yes, we need to discuss dry wire and TTL and
Asparagus.
Now, do you also you had mentioned that you're going to be? Is there going to be a possibility of an MC10 DW term?
There is one.
Okay, so
It already exists.
Okay, then I need to try that. I want to try that.
It's called the DW term MC10.
Okay, I need to.
That was easy.
All right, I would like to try that. Yeah, because the next thing on my list of things to play with and do that's been sitting on shelves for far too long is my Tano Dragon. I did order the composite cable for that. I do have some stock new in box Dragon joysticks. If I can get a serial cable and I can do Dragon wire, that would be kind of cool as well. So in the meantime, I guess I could maybe do the CoCo SDC thing if I had to.
Yeah, that's probably your best bet
Just
right
do a
now.
bank.
That's if you haven't reloaded it, it's actually already in there. I think.
Okay.
What was it? Slot 3 or 4? I don't remember.
and then but are dip switch changes necessary too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That'd be an offline thing to do.
Yep.
Cool. But yeah, all these projects that exist, it's nice to know that we're still passionate about all these things, and sometimes it takes dumbass like me to get excited about something to make a YouTube video for other people to be aware. Like, I've been aware of everything for a long time, and I just have not had time to work on it. And the minute I do a video, people are like, "Oh, that's neat. I didn't know about that." I'm like, "Oh, I feel like an idiot because I've known about it forever, and it's just taking me this long to do it." So it's good to know that these projects are getting some more recognition and people are trying them out. I just want to throw out two more things. We got a really good compliment on Facebook this week by somebody who was watching the show. I need to see if I can find it again too, because I don't remember who ran the original post. But somebody mentioned, they showed a picture of them listening to CoCoTALK in the car, and then it sparked a discussion of like, how did you do that? And he's like, well, I got it hooked up to my phone. And then somebody's like, well, I wish I had a way to listen to it. Here it is. The original post was by Wayne Aaron. So Wayne Aaron posted a picture on Facebook. Let me see if I can switch over here to the other screen. And so he posted a picture of basically him listening to CoCoTALK in the car. And this was last week's show, everyone's favorite episode. And so then the question came up, well, how...
Are you sharing, Stevie?
Am I sharing? No. Am I not sharing? That's what happens.
No, you're not.
Right? Okay. So there we go. So the question came up, how do you do that? And so he said, well, I was doing it on my phone, and when I plugged my phone in over the cable, I got the picture. But I guess what some people weren't aware of is that CoCoTALK is a podcast, because I think somebody made a comment saying, I would love to be able to get, I have not seen any RS feed at my podcast programs. I only knew about it from YouTube. Well, we have been a podcast for many years, and so I just threw up a link to the CoCoTALK website. So sometimes there's just things we take for granted. So the fact that we are a podcast, not only audibly, but also visually, you can get us as a video podcast on iTunes, is also something you can do. And the idea there was when we went to iTunes, it's like, well, I was like, well, why do we want to throw this on iTunes when we're already on YouTube? And it was mentioned that, well, some people don't have the bandwidth. And if you're commuting or you're doing this, you're doing that, it'd be nice to be able to just take it, have it offline, and bring it with you. And so the video versions of our shows are replayable on iTunes. You can get them from our website. And if you follow the CoCoTALK Facebook page, every Sunday I post the audio and video podcasts, and there's links to them on our CoCoTALK Facebook page, and you can go to our website, cocotalk.live. But yeah, so CoCoTALK is live on many streaming services like YouTube and Facebook, and I've also started streaming to the Twitter thing, whatever that thing's called. I forgot what Twitter calls their streaming thing, but we're there. I think we've been flagged for fake news several times today. Periscope, yes. So we have live Twitter videos. We're on Mixer, Twitch, Sir Mix-a-Lot. There's lots of ways to get CoCoTALK, and you can also get audio and video replays. There you have it. Oh, look, speaking of this, we have Donald Trump right now talking about space is amazing. It's an incredible thing. I've been saying this forever. We're doing amazing things in space, fantastic things that we're doing here. So
paying more attention to that than you right now.
Space Force, yes. All right, so I guess we're going to roll the credits. Or do we have any parting thoughts, final words? Anyone? Bueller?
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
No.
Yes, let's get this train pulled to its final.
Okay, and so what we're going to do later on this evening is we're going to do a live GameON stream, and we'll be streaming a plethora of CoCo space games. We'll be streaming the game of the week, which is Lunar Rover Patrol, and dozens of other CoCo gaming space-themed games, including the Space Shuttle simulator. So Alan Murphy put together some pretty cool disc images with lots of CoCo space-themed content that we can play through. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for all on the panel for being here. Thank you, NASA and SpaceX, for continuing to boldly go where we need to keep going. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life here. We're going to press the button and get the flunk out of here. So final thoughts. Anyone? Is that it?
See you
Drink
next
more
week.
Ovaltine.
RS232, TTL,
All right, so
ESP.
say-
Just hit the button already.
Say goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Eat more Vegemite.
Bye,
Eat more
bye,
Vegemite.
everybody. Bye.
This concludes another episode of CoCo Talk, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things CoCo Talk, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, click the Patreon link at our website at CoCoTalk.live.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
CoCo Talk would not exist without the community, its cast, crew, and contributors. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reichert, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Tom C., Rob Inman, Mark Bosley, Brian Joyce, Ken Reichert, David O'Connor, Brian Weasler, Terry Steggy, Nick Marotta, John Strong, and many more, especially to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and James Differendaffer for making my head explode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its various contributors. A list of resources is available at imacoconut.com. That's IMACOCONUT.com. The CoCo Talk theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Sheeler. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. And seeing Terry Steen reminds me to remind you that no furniture was harmed during the making of this production. We're going to press the button, Frank. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
Everyone, have a
Shab-
great